Howdy and god damn it. It's already over. We're done. We're done.
You took some time over at the truck stop, didn't you?
Stream over. We're done. Howdy and hail, everybody. Welcome to Anime Odyssey, where once a month we weeb out, have a good time, and I guarantee there's going to be a weeb fight tonight. I guarantee it. It might not be bloody, but there will be bruises. Anyway, I am happy to be here this month. Hail across both chats on both my channel and Dermy's channel. We're glad you guys are here. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe buttons. Let's get to it. I'm happy as always. Okay, maybe I'm not. I'm being a little too generous. I'm glad to some extent to have my co-host, the fabulous man.
That's right,
Dermy.
I'm the fabulous man, Dermy. Oh, if you guys have been seeing what's been going on over on Twitter, I've been fighting people left, right, and center. It's been a glorious day.
That's what happens when you tweet like a 14-year-old girl on Twitter.
I've been a punch-drunk guy, okay? Listen, Bug got called homophobic, so I came swinging on in. It was my time.
Let's be honest.
Rainbow flag flying.
I even tagged myself in at one point today. I've tagged myself in. Because, listen,
sure, I tagged myself in at one point today. I don't do that.
I mean, Dermy's a retard. He's our retard. I mean, you gotta make fun of him for the right shit. All right. Yeah. But anyway, so Dermy's had a fun day. I had a day myself. But we have a guest. Welcome, Static.
How you doing? Glad to be here. Curious to see how this conversation goes because I don't think it's going to be a lot like the last one.
No. I don't think there's not going to be a lot of kumbaya on this. I mean, it's anything, but we got a good one today, I think, because it's going to generate conversation, and that's what we want. We either want super geek out or we want nerd fight. That's what's good, and we're happy to do that. But let's say hail and howdy to the chats, and then we'll get going. Hail the Goddess Legionist and good Sir Algum the Strong mods. Ready to keep the peace, be trolls when necessary, and keep us on the straight and narrow. Going on down. Hail to you, Carl Carlson, as always. Welcome. Hail, Vinzinger. Vinzinger never misses an Anime Odyssey. He never misses one. Let's keep on going. Hail, Masquerade. Hello, JB. We are not late and gay. I hit that button on the nose. 7:30. We started. There is no late and, well, there's gay here, but we're not late. We're not late.
That's right.
Yeah. And anybody else just watching and not chatting, we're happy to have you here, whether you're watching live or on the Reupload. All right, so we're going to talk Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. Recent show about, what was it, last season?
2 seasons ago.
Was it winter or fall?
I think it was fall.
It was fall.
It came out. No.
Okay.
Or maybe it was last summer when it
No.
came out.
No. It was fall. It was fall because winter just ended. Okay, we're starting. We're in the middle of we're in spring now. I'm sorry, spring is just ending now, or is winter? I don't know. Whatever. I don't care.
Spring's just getting started.
Like, whatever. I don't know.
It's
Japan.
Japan.
Okay.
It's Japan.
All right.
They start their winter season in January, and winter season of anime just ended, and spring just said, whatever. I'm currently watching the last seasons of stuff. I'm catching up. So I get confused because of the way I do right now. I'm in that mode where I wait till everything's done and I just watch it because I don't want to go week to week or every 3 weeks. I just want to watch it all and see whether or not I enjoy it. So we got
July 2023 says Legatus.
So it was summer?
Yeah, I think it came out in the summer because I think
fall.
I think I noticed it on Netflix in last summer because Netflix also put out a live action version.
Yes.
I remember it was out because the shills were talking about it. The fake fans were talking about it. So I kind of disregarded it then. But all right, so we're going to talk Zom 100. Recent enough. It's a recent show. It's not anything very long term. And then because of the sad passing of one of the greatest of all time, Akira Toriyama, at the beginning of the month, it would be wrong if we didn't celebrate his lasting legacy and impact on anime and video games. We're going to talk video games because that's important to that. And then we got a couple other things I think we're going to bring up as well, round it out. But let's not beat around the bush anymore. let's get it started. Dermy, this was your pick was this month. Why don't you get us started? Why don't you introduce us to Zom?
So Zom 100 is, I would say, a very uplifting, inspirational show set in a time where usually you wouldn't be uplifted and inspired because it's in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. It follows, and I'm awful with their names because they are all, except for one of them,
Akira.
Akira.
That's the only one I could even think of.
I remember
but
Brune, but
I forget his
Brune
buddy's
is
name. Of course, Beatrix. You can't forget Beatrix.
Beatrix. Oh,
You,
it's
you
Beatrix.
cannot
not
forget
Brune.
Beatrix. Hey, listen, I was going to save this joke, but I'm going to say it now. I don't need to take however long they take to have their 100 things to do in the zombie apocalypse. All 100 things involve Beatrix for me. All 100. 25, we start with her mouth. Then we go to the 25 to 50 involve her boobs, and you can see where we go. The other 25, the other 50, choose a hole. Doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Yes, I went there already. We're starting. It's here. It's anime. Of course, I'm going to talk
Listen,
about
Beatrix's love,
Beatrix and her boobs that could knock you out if she turns.
but the other chick is in game. But
she's a bitch.
I
And
love
I know
her,
she has
but-
reason to be a bitch, but she's a bitch. But we'll get
But I
into
love
this.
her.
All right, Derby,
But we'll
continue
get
to-
into it all.
Yeah.
So it follows Akira, and for the past 3 years, he's been stuck in a exploitative
Exploitive.
job that was basically killing his soul. It was a job that he really wanted, but it slowly just burned him out. He was there's a whole thing about him maybe hopping in front of a train because he's so dead in Minecraft. He's just so done.
Well,
And then one day,
well,
go
so
ahead.
I'll give the show a parallel, a good parallel. That he was more of a zombie before the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. And then once the he tries to go to work one day when the zombie apocalypse is about to hit, or when the zombie apocalypse hit, and when he realized the world's going to shit, he's like, woohoo, I don't have to go to work. I can try to take back those past 3 years of my life.
Mhm.
And you follow him on all sorts of just adventures during a zombie apocalypse, and honestly, some very wholesome moments. Nothing really seems like over the top. It's not really dark and gritty. There's some dark moments, but for the most part, it's very happy and joyful. And it's something that I would never pick out of knowing my choice. So there's a reason I like it so much.
I have so many thoughts, but here's the thing. Before I get going, before the weeb fight starts, I'm going to give Static a chance to share some thoughts because I'm afraid when Dermy and I start yelling at each other, Static's just going to sit back and watch and enjoy it. So, Static, before that, one quick question. Dermy, does this have source material? Does this come from a manga or a light novel?
It does. I don't know if it's a manga or a light novel. I've been looking it up. There is source material. And they are continuing forward. Like there's more chapters coming and more seasons.
Okay,
coming.
so it's not done yet. So
Yeah,
it's going to keep going. Okay, Static, give us some. How do you feel? I assume, like me, this is your first time watching this one, right?
Yeah. So yeah, actually, I watched it back when it came out.
Okay.
But I've watched it like it's you can watch it all in half a day.
I did it Monday night.
Yeah.
I blew through it Monday night. Yeah.
I liked this like 100 times more than Pluto.
Oh, fuck Pluto.
Like,
I'd already put that in the memory banks and forgotten we did it.
it's a very simple zombie, the very tropey, that whole thing. But the big difference is that kid Akira, he that moment when he realizes he doesn't have to go to work and he's excited about the end of the world. Like that's a completely kind of different take on the whole zombie thing. And also I kind of know that feeling. Like, have you guys ever had that job where it's
yes.
just like,
where I've had the job where I said, well, I actually said, F you, I quit.
Eventually it comes down to that, right? But I could see being in that kind of situation, and I loved that. It's very basic. I didn't really care much for his friend. The naked guy.
Yeah, I suddenly forgot his name too. I can't remember it.
So I've got a list. It's Kenichiro.
Okay.
Yeah, Kenshiro.
Kenshiro. Okay,
He was kind of whatever. I liked the dynamic between Akira and that chick. Yes, she was a bitch, but also like she had you get
she
to
has
watch
reasons.
Her. You get to watch. Yeah, you get to see all that, and they do. I think they do a really good job with that. I was not like the way it ended was very cliche. They're like, wait till next time, on to the next thing, and I was just kind of like about that. Like the ending didn't pack as much of a punch. I don't think.
What I think it's a standard first season ending where in a show that while it clearly has arcs here and there, these aren't major things where we're going to cut off and there's a next part of the story. It's just, okay, this misadventure is done and it's over. Now, when I finished it on Monday night, I sent Dermy a message. And listen, I didn't hate this show, but to me, this show is extremely mid. And let me explain why. Let me say what's good about it. One, the animation is great. The animation is fine. The voice acting was good.
I love the colors.
That's an interesting thing. There's a lot.
You get to, I think halfway through the season, the opening gets so much better.
Well, listen. I have my complaints about that opening. To me, up until they give the actual opening, the first half season, that's freaking lazy ass opening, just replaying scenes from the previous episodes. I pissed me off because I like a good opening. I like a good opening, and I was annoyed. Like, you're half-assing these openings. You're just showing me scenes from the previous one, and then when we get to season episode 7, I guess, once Beatrix is introduced, then here's the real opening for the remainder. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And the real opening is fine because it's an actual opening. It does what openings do. It has fun with you and it has fun with the show.
With it being on Netflix, why not just edit all of the openings for the other ones?
I don't know. Of course I didn't. I don't watch it on Netflix. I don't know. I got it from wherever.
Okay, fair enough.
And actually, I got the Blu-ray rip. I think is what I had. I had a Blu-ray rip, so it was the.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I watched it on dub, so I mean, I watched the dub and I watched it anyway. So, all right. Here's the thing. I say it's mid because of this. I feel like this show it doesn't know what it wants to be. And it has good points and good moments, but are you a comedy? Are you being drama? Are you being dark? Is there adventure to this? And I know some people say, well, hey, it's all mixed one, but there are moments when it is having a really great moment. I'm going to skip ahead because it's one of those jumps in mind. It's a really important moment where Akira and his dad and that whole thing, I don't have a lot of time left. He's been sick and this and that. Because they're leading up. You think he's sick. You see blood in his hands. Like, okay, did he cough it up? And you think, okay, this is a serious thing. And he wants to make sure he makes right by his dad. And they go through all this stuff. And in this moment, are you going to be serious? No, I've just got hemorrhoids and they bleed a lot. And I was just like, you didn't need that joke there. Just like at other times, you didn't need certain jokes to change it. And it's just, I didn't know what this show wanted to be half the time. And here's my major sticking point. I like the first episode because it's a great parallel of you're more of a zombie in the real world than in the zombie apocalypse. And then the very interesting process of suddenly he's alive and we got the color chromatics everywhere and he's doing stuff and suddenly he's free as this. And episodes 1 through 4, we get a decent representation of Akira and how he's handling all of this. He's upbeat. And Dermy, you're not wrong with your description of it. It's an upbeat. It does have that proper motivational type thing where everybody's going, oh, yes, let's find the good in this. And you have the juxtaposition of how everybody's handling this shit differently. And then you get to episode 5 and 6. And I think episodes 5 and 6 are my biggest problem with this because and this is where I'm going to, and after I've been saying, Dermy, I'll let you come in because I'm sure you have a response to what I'm going to say here. 5 and 6, the truck stop. And no, I'm not going to make truck stop jokes. The truck stop. We're at the truck stop. And Akira, they've decided to go and visit his parents. They're on the road trip. They haven't met Beatrix yet, even though she's been featured in the intro slightly. And up until this point, Akira has been very well defined in this zombie apocalypse and how his character has grown and changed and how he's dealing with everything. He had those moments, the whole it's the underground mall incident in episode 3, where they had the flight attendants and he thinks he's gonna get
episode
laid.
4.
That was 4? Sorry, I was 4.
Yeah, because 3 is when he gets
Kenshiro. Okay,
you're
right, Kenshiro. Okay, sorry. So I got him order. Yeah, so when they go to the underground thing and he thinks he's gonna get laid by the flight attendant. Of course, I'm thinking the whole time, just screw the angry one. That's the easy one right there. That's the easy path to getting laid. But in that episode, while a little up and down in terms of what is this show gonna be, I wouldn't have gone so serious with it. I would have that episode gone full comment, but getting past it. So we get to 5 and 6. He's clearly defined. He's motivated and he's evolving his character. And then he runs into his old boss from the exploitative job, and he reverts. Now, that's not a bad thing. The reversion isn't a complete bad thing, although I am annoyed that his PTSD kicked in such a way that it created that. Where I'm annoyed is that he required somebody else to break him out, that his whole new look on life didn't save him. It required somebody else to save him from that. And that bothers me because I feel it did a disservice to his character and all the growth he had for 4 episodes.
So I'm going to disagree because those are actually some of my favorite episodes in the entire show.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Because I view it as it shows the growth of the bitch character the most. Because those episodes are more focused on her, focused on her past and things like that. And this is her trying to help a guy who she has criticized. She has said he's fucking everything up, but she's shown some interest in. She's shown some sort of interest in there, and he did all this to try to save them. And she's struggling watching him revert back into this pathetic, shrill, just dude that she doesn't even care about and is kind of like, how the hell have you been surviving? And she's struggling watching that and having her step up and say, snap back into it. You're this leader. You helped us guide us along this way. You've been bringing us up and everything. I think that shows more character development for her, and it brings him back knowing that he has been doing good.
I understand that. Static, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Adam's complaint had nothing to do with her, really. It was that he didn't do it himself. He is actually saying that her pulling him out diminished his character.
That's what I'm saying. Yes,
but I think
here, let me know this: his first moment when he's alive again, and he decides to go confess to the office hottie who's being railed by the CEO, which we saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah, it's unfortunate though.
Yeah, and he goes there, and I said on the other side, I said she needs to be a zombie, otherwise I'm gonna be really automatic done with the show. And the fact that they made her a zombie, good choice from a storytelling perspective. And then when he's in there, though, the boss is right there. And even though the CEO wasn't the one that was beating him down, like the office manager was, the guy at the truck stop, in that moment, he is alive. He has no qualms about just shoving his, not resentment, but the truth down the zombie's throat. And he charges it and knocks it out. And in the moment, I don't see why he can do that there and not eventually recover on his own against the office manager.
I think
go ahead. Let's static.
No, static.
Okay, so I think because he's fucking the girl that he wants, and and it's not even anything real. It's because of a situation, right? He's a pig who's leveraging being in charge over this woman. And it's that kind of thing going on. And that's where he found the strength of that. It had nothing to do with work. It was because he wanted that girl.
Okay.
And I think there's also a difference between the CEO he's a pig, but he wasn't the one.
He's not the abusive one. I understand.
He's not the abusive one. He's not the one beating him down, demeaning him day in and day out. His real monster was the actual boss. So when he's finally put in this position where, what do I do? Do I let my friends die? Do I let my best friend basically die in front of me or do I go work with him and become
That's
a
not
corporate
my
slave
issue.
again?
My issue is
I know. But
that's one thing. I mean,
he
shaving
goes
the
back
string-
into this whole style,
but
and he
here's the
needs a
thing.
little bit. He needs that little kick
Here's
to
the thing,
remind
though.
him that he's not that anymore.
At the end of the last episode, when they got the big screen TV and he's playing the zombie game, and there's that moment on the screen where it says "Become a zombie or keep on living." That's the moment he says, "I'm going to keep on living," because he just had that experience.
Okay.
In the mall, and right there, from my perspective, when a character has reached that level of understanding of I want to keep living no matter what, despite all these bad experiences, for him to and I'm not diminishing PTSD when I talk about this. Hell, I had a PTSD moment this week over something stupid that put me in a very bad place for about 24 hours. I am not diminishing that, but to me, our hero, our protagonist, it feels better if they claw it out on their own and don't get the lifeline that he got. And because I feel it, and then he's suddenly back to the way he was. It's just, I feel there was Akira deserved better from all the development we'd had for 4 episodes up to 5 and 6.
I can see your complaint. It does seem kind of lazy. I don't think, for me, it doesn't make it any worse. What do you get? Do you have any idea of what you would have liked to have seen happen instead?
Well, that goes to my entire thing. I feel this show would have benefited from leaning heavier into the comedy and less into the drama.
Okay.
And if this had been a whole comedic thing where the zombie doesn't sneak in onto the truck or something, if it had been a whole comedic thing where we knew the zombies were going to get into the trucks up eventually.
Mm-hmm.
We knew it was going to happen. We had a lot of comedic moments like that up until then, where a zombie appears in some stupid way. Although I disagreed with the guy who was bit in the underground mall. If he was bit, why wasn't he complaining about being bit instead of just cowering in the corner? That annoyed me. Also, I think that would have been benefited more from more comedy there too. I think the whole thing should have been more comedy and a whole comedic scene, a comedic scene to snap Akira out of it instead of a lecture. That is what I would have wanted to have seen.
I actually agree with like 3 names 1 point in the chat. Those episodes weren't though about Akira, they were about her. They were focusing in on her.
And I
see what your point is,
Yeah.
but I think the difference there is just what were these episodes trying to focus in on? What was going on at the time? You know, how did they get to this point? What drove him back into the PTSD element? And then when they needed him the most, you're right, he snapped back into it. He realized who he was, and he saves the fucking day.
Yes, he does it, but then he's doing his Akira thing again, and that's fine. I just don't like the process. I think even though they are about what's her name, smaller boob chick. We'll just call it smaller boob chick. Smaller boob chick. Although she's got size. Suzuka thing. Okay, Suzuka. I mean, listen, she's got size. She's not
Miss Analytic.
Yeah,
Shizuka.
She is not a. She's not a lolly. She's got a body. She doesn't have Beatrix's body.
Yeah,
she's got a body.
They're just wrapped up behind that sports bra.
I wouldn't throw her out of bed.
That's a fine sports bra.
I wouldn't throw her out of bed.
That is
Not
doing
at
a
all.
lot of work.
Yeah.
That sports bra is doing a lot of work right there.
But I think there could have been a way, because we got her more backstory, the need. I need the whole need thing, which is frames her. And I'm not dumping on her story there. I just feel as though it still diminishes Akira, and going forward, that's where I was sort of being okay, and then I got really bored, and then after that, I want to move on, but I don't want to get away from this before we've had a conclusive discussion on this part of the show. I wanted him to do it himself. I like it when a hero can get assistance. I'm okay with that, but in this case, getting a lecture from the girl you sort of like.
You see, I didn't see it as a lecture. I saw it as a pep talk.
I saw it more as,
and she was also yelling
confessing.
at her dad. She was
yelling at her dad, but also it's her confessing to him, like, all this stuff that's going on in my life, all this stuff that's happened, and how you've helped change my viewing, and I'm seeing you in this way that I don't like or understand anymore. And
she was relating to it. She was
relating to the stuff, and she was viewing it through a different lens. She was responding to it, and I think I don't think he sort of likes her. I think he really likes her, and I think she really likes him. They just
Well, you don't get that
it's
till the hot
will they
spring
won't
episode where they
No,
didn't give enough.
you start getting that.
Yeah.
You start getting that when he saves her from the shark. Remember when she transfers over the phone information? They do the whole
Yeah, I
comical.
know.
She gets really red and everything because she does have.
Well,
she has the
that's
hots
a
for him.
classic anime thing.
I know she has the hots for him. She got really
Listen.
wet there.
Adam,
She
Listen,
just
no,
doesn't want to admit it.
All right. I want to know where Akira got all his moves from. That he suddenly could do super karate.
Video games.
Video games. He was in rugby, and
okay, rugby. I
another
can
one of
give
those
you his
just-
tough. You know, I'll give you the toughness because of his rugby days. I can give you that.
That's one of the
But
other
sometimes
things
he's
about
doing
this-
backflips and high super backflip jump kicks.
Well, it's also
Wait,
anime.
You mean
I know,
Aiden
I
can't
know.
just do that? I thought that.
No, but it is anime. I know that, but it's just
But-
All right,
One of
we're
the
detracting.
charms of
I want to
this-
wrap up
yeah.
the truck stop because I think we're still agreeing. We're gonna basically agree to disagree on certain points in here. Because I just wanted, I still, even though you've made valid points, I feel as though Akira was diminished, and it at the core, it's the whole. Are we going to be a super serious show, or are we going to be comedy? And I know these things can blend. I know in the chat they mentioned that, but sometimes I don't feel this show really makes a choice on what its type is. Because I want to then we'll jump ahead a little bit. Do you want to make any final thoughts of this? Because I'm repeating myself at this point. I'm repeating myself.
On the truck stop, no, because I think we're agreeing to disagree because I think we're viewing it at two different, two angles that are just very different. We're coming at it with different lenses and ideas of how it all played out and why it played out the way it did. And I'm perfectly fine with that episode. Those are two of my favorite episodes. So
for me, it ground to a halt there because I'm thinking, why are we doing this here now? And why are we diminishing his character? Static, any final thoughts on the truck stop? Because we're gonna go in circles if I keep talking about it. I know.
I guess you could say I just thought it was kind of obvious. Like once you saw the boss, you're like, oh, okay, well, he's gonna.
Well, yeah, again, you are very true in that you
Yeah.
knew exactly how it was gonna go. And for me, it was, is he going to snap himself out of it, or is something going to happen, or someone going to do something snap out of it? And it went the way I didn't want it to go.
And like no one even bitched at. Now that I'm thinking about it, like they're the ones who set the spike strip.
Yeah.
And then he suckered them on, and then he's like, oh well, I guess we'll have to fix your truck, blah blah blah. And it's like, this guy screwed your shit up. Like I get it. What's his name? Akira falls into his old
routine.
Work,
yeah.
Well, but like the other two
also
just like went along with it.
Well, you had to remember his best friend
busted.
He was basically about to die. He was very much banged up.
The getting in there,
ground.
I don't have a problem with it. It's about getting Kenichiro fixed up. I'm not arguing that point. I would do the same because there's no option. But then the event, all the events in the truck stop, I don't understand how everybody's just letting that fat piece of shit run their lives like that.
Well, it's because because he'd ran it just like the company did, right?
But also he does.
Those are all like Akira's coworkers. The same reason why they were all into it, because they thought they were doing this in order to be safe, whereas at work they thought they were doing this in order to get a paycheck.
And then
but I feel like the regular folks in there, that they were just they're locked into this, and are they so
he
basically non-zombie that they fall in line like this thing?
It gets very complicated.
I guess it's the individualist in me doesn't always comprehend how people can just fall in line to a hive mind like that.
Well, it's not just that.
It's Negan from Walking Dead.
Yeah, there's that, and it's also he manipulated everybody, even like his closest individuals, even the people that were like, his enforcers and everything like that. His thugs, he manipulated them. He treated them like shit. But even though he treated them like shit, he would then turn around and go like, "Oh, but you love me, guys."
Well, let's be honest.
Beer,
this is a classic anime trope of the thugs and the normal people are fucking idiots. I mean, I've been watching. I've been doing my One Piece rewatch right now in between things. And one of the things that Oda Sensei does beautifully is show you how regular populations are goddamn sheep. And they always say the dumbest fucking things. They always are the dumbest people on the screen. And it's frustrating, but he portrays it brilliantly. and it's a trope, and it happens here, and I gotta admit it aggravates me, but it's still a commentary on real life that the large crowds will listen to the powerful voice.
I also think large crowds will listen to the powerful voice, especially when what else do they fucking do? Because this is a zombie apocalypse. It's a very uplifting show, but it is a fucking zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. All right, let's get past the Chuck talk, because you want to talk about anything in the first 4 episodes, because it's kind of just groundwork. I mean,
did you not like the shark?
I thought
the shark was ridiculous, but fun.
It was over the top, but it was ridiculous, and that's where I'm thinking, okay, that's when I still thought, oh, we're going full zany over the top. Okay,
yeah.
And then we go to episode 4, where I thought we were going to have a little sexcapades in the underground mall, but no, we got very serious again, and then a zombie dude appeared. So
one is the beginning. Two,
you know what I mean, though. You know what I mean.
Mall is before, because Mall's episode 4.
Yeah.
Shark's episode 5. Then
I thought
3,
5 and 6
4.
are a truck stop.
Yeah, 3 is
3 is Friend. 4 is Underground Mall.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
Then 5 would be Shark. 6 would be
so it was 6 and 7 was truck stop?
6 is when they get the RV, and they get
6 because at the end of the RV they go to the truck stop.
So 6 and 7 is truck stop. Okay, I had it slightly off there. So all right, so anything a truck was over top, and that's when I still thought this was going to be over the top insanity. And I would have preferred overall if this show was over the top insanity. That's what I think the show would have been more appealing to me if it had been that. Because I like over top insanity when a show commits to it. It's just, okay, we are bonkers crazy. This is nuts. I'm trying to think of one.
You know what?
Offhand that does that.
I'll kind of agree with you, because that would have gone with the whole color stuff that they had going on, like all the crazy colors, the neon colors for all the blood and everything. It would have fit really well. And actually, the anime gives that aesthetic that it's going to be something zany over the top. And I guess to be zany and over the top, you don't necessarily have to be funny about it. But gruesome and zany.
Zany over the top doesn't necessarily mean laugh out loud, but it means, oh shit, yeah, that's the kind of thing you're just you pull in. And I think this franchise would have benefited more than trying to ride the line between comedy and drama.
I think it does it very well, because they do the zaniness, but when they start getting to the more drama moments, that's when it's supposed to be like serious. Hey, here's like character development. Here's, a certain moment here that are like defining these characters in a different way. You see that very a whole lot towards the very end, where honestly it comes out. Well, not the very end.
I have a lot of problems with those final 3 episodes.
A little that.
I have a lot of problems with those final 3 episodes.
I think it's the final episode when that all begins. Maybe that's the second episode.
Well, no, the final episode is when it comes to the conclusion. I mean, the 3 episodes when they arrive at his parents' village, when he arrives and goes home.
When it comes to the last 2 episodes, I view it very differently, but I'm not there
yet.
I want to do.
Yeah,
what I want to say. Yeah, what I want to say about like those first episodes, like the building episodes. What they're showing is how he's finding his own path. He wants to do something like new every day, finding a different thing, doing what you want to do to live life to the fullest. That's one of the big themes in this thing. Besides not be a corporate slave, live your life to the fullest, no matter what.
And I have no problem with that. I just think the show would have been better served if it had been fully committed to over the top. You could still get these messages across without slowing things down to a crawl at times to talk these things out. And I feel that's a weakness of the show, because by slowing it down, this is a ride. This is a zombie apocalypse with a character, maybe protagonist, who wants to go at it full speed and not just survive. And that's Akira's that's the appealing thing about Akira. He just goes at it full speed. And it would be more appealing if we went at breakneck speed constantly. Don't slow down. Keep going. One over the top zany thing to the next. Let's do it. And when it ratchets back to be serious and dramatic, to do the character development stuff, which is not done bad, I just feel it's a little inconsistent at times and poorly timed too. I feel at times they shouldn't do it, or why are we doing this at all? Why are we getting there? And I'll get to that because that's going to more come in with the final 3 to 4 episodes.
I would say the only time I ever thought that is when they did Beatrix, when they introduced Beatrix, her episode.
I thought Beatrix was fine because one, giant boobs. I'm always going to be interested. But secondly, also here is final character, which you've been waiting for because she's been in the intro. You've been waiting for her to be introduced. We're 8 episodes in now, 7 episodes in, and finally we're getting her.
So my problem
9 episodes in, and we had
and was it 9 episodes?
Yeah, it was 9 because the 8th one was the last truck stop.
Okay,
when they left the truck stop.
So 9, 10, 11, 12. So that means chapter 9 is Beatrix and the sushi. And
Beatrix, sushi, and
the hot springs,
and then 10
hot springs.
No, I thought hot springs was 10.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, 10 is hot springs. Yeah.
10 hot springs, and old dude in the mountains.
Yep.
And I thought it went 11 to 12 are the final or back.
So sushi was one episode. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
because I thought it went sushi hot springs. I didn't.
Yeah. It did go sushi hot springs, but hot springs was the next episode.
I thought that was one episode. That was my bait. I don't like sushi hot springs. I don't like how.
Well, listen,
because that was when
it slows down. We just got Beatrix. We see she's a badass. She is a complete Japanophile. She's a busty German woman who has no problem whipping them out, and yet we don't see them. Shame on you.
So
fan service stops at a B. Didn't like
A. Well, I mean, and they had dick out all the time.
Yeah, they blurred the dick and the ass and the man ass, which I'm fine with. I don't need to see man ass. But, go ahead.
When it came to like the sushi episode, there were some really good moments in the sushi episode, kind of showing how they're working together and stuff to take on some of the zombies. How Beatrix just kind of slides into the crew very masterfully. My biggest issue ends up coming towards the end. Like, how the fuck is this guy still alive? How is this?
Well, that is chef? Okay. The sushi chef. I don't have a problem with that. He just survived like everybody else.
Master of the knives, man.
Master of the knives. Everywhere else in this area is like crawling with zombies. It's chaos everywhere, and his little place is just perfectly fine.
Well, I have no defense of that because it didn't really occur to me to think about that. I was like, oh, sushi guy.
When I saw that episode, like I love this anime. When I saw that episode and that moment happens, like, what the fuck? How the hell are you fine? How is everything in this area perfectly fine? Well, we just got done with a massive zombie horde. What the fuck is going on here?
We did hear at times that on radio reports that there was points being retaken. So maybe there had been a suppression wave come through. I don't know.
Maybe I just that one.
Well, I was okay with the episode. That episode didn't bother me simply because Beatrix is introduced, and I get fan service. And we're going to talk about this later tonight. I love fan service because I like to look at pretty things. Like right now, and I may get pushback for this. I'm watching Fear in the Journey Beyond. I'm catching up on that one. I'm halfway through it. Well animated show, but zero fan service. And fan service does it to me. Fan service is a reward. It's a sprinkle. It's a nice topping that makes something even more pleasant than it already is. And I appreciate when a show either embraces it fully or gives you a little bit, enough of a tease, this and that. Zom, it's fan service. I said I rated it as a B, maybe B plus, because you do get a lot of cleavage, a lot of jiggle action. But then you had a hot spring, and you get nothing. Beatrix is complaining about even the mailroom doesn't fit me, and I was like, no, it doesn't. And then she leaps into the hot spring, and she butt naked, and even when she's moving, everything's covered. It's like, come on, guys, at least give me some little bit, but nothing.
Well, they didn't do that with the guys, so like
dude,
the guys are
naked dude.
They have naked dude, but they're blurred. They're not showing you jack shit.
Yeah,
they're not going to show you jack shit.
She was naked. Her hair was just in front of the nipple. There was a lot of exposed there.
I hate that trope so much. Just do it. Give me my full fan service. I'm a horny man. Okay, I admit this.
And
at
she
this
did.
point.
No, she did do it later. I don't think they showed anything. I think they had it
No.
disguised by the steam, but in the latter half of the whole
Oh.
hot spring moment, when they find the hot spring late at night and
yeah.
everything, she just
Yeah, she does, and it's just it is covered up. Point is that's just joking around. Those episodes are, to me, in my example of the we're over the top zany, and then it just slows it down. And
so
while you get character development, I feel it could have gone another way, could have gone a different direction.
as we're going through this, because I thought it went sushi. It is sushi hot springs, but I thought that was one big episode. Because the part after that, I had no real problem with.
Well, I don't have a problem with when they go the old man in the forest, because it's a heartbreaking moment, but I don't have a problem with it. But it's still making my point. What are we doing here? Are we being dramatic or are we being funny? And
in that
I
moment,
appreciate his story, and it's heartwarming, and it's very heartbreaking at the same time.
but also it plays together with the actual themes of the entire show.
I know it does, but I just think it's executed poorly. I feel like the show. I didn't say the show was terrible. I just said it was mid for me, and it comes across. It comes from the point of, I feel its points and efforts are just it's a poor execution of what it's doing. It could have either leaned fully in one direction or leaned fully in the other direction, and then it would really be good. Either really serious or really zany. And then you're hitting all those marks and you're keeping me pulled in. Because when we finally, I don't think we really need to talk about Old Man in the Forest. It's not.
I would say the most about it is Old Man in the Forest.
It's a setup. It's also a setup.
It's a setup for later that I didn't even see coming. And then after that, it also plays well with the whole themes of the entire show of don't waste your time, don't be a corporate stooge, live life to the fullest, or else who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because his whole story is his son passed away before they could get to build a treehouse together.
Yeah.
Well, not so much passed away. His zombie wife ate him, and he had to kill his wife. I mean, his zombie wife killed their son, and then he had to kill her. And the fact that he's that robust and upbeat is a miracle. And that's why I say it's not a bad episode. I just think overall, it's, to me, the fatal flaw of this series. Just it waffles between these things, and then that brings us to getting home. The arrival at the home arc. A lot of good stuff in here, character development wise. Also, to me, a lot of bad stuff. I really feel with 2 episodes to go to get Sharptooth Dude and his thing, to me, it's shoehorned in here at the last second. How am I supposed to get disengaged with this dude? How am I supposed to be disengaged?
I could kind of agree with that, because that really comes out of nowhere. Like, what the fuck's here?
Like the antithesis of Akira. Somebody who is a misanthrope who wants to be miserable and ruin the world around him.
Well, roughly all 4 of them are the exact opposite.
And that's my point. This would have been good with build-up.
Yeah.
But it just kind of, here, it's right in your face, and let's have a crisis go on at home.
And you're absolutely,
little things.
Those episodes, like the sushi one, that would have been a great episode to throw in some stuff with those other mirror dimension characters doing something else in the background. Like them, like you being aware of them well before the 10th or 11th episode, whichever one it is where they introduce.
It's 11.
You honestly could have just been like at the end of every episode.
We could have seen. That's a great idea, Dermy.
Yeah,
little bits, pieces. Instead, we devote most of these episodes in the final month to their backstories. Whenever and I'm just thinking, I don't. I mean, yes, uptight anal office chick has a great rack, but I'm not even interested in her.
I kind of lost interest in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah,
like
so I like the last 2 episodes.
I vaguely remember much of what happened before the mirror dimension characters finally showed up.
I like the concept of the mirror dimension characters. I like the concept of like the antithesis to all of them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're right. They do need a little bit more build up, because when they are shown, it's this whole thing of like, have I seen this guy before? And we're
And
supposed
I'm
to be
thinking to
like,
myself,
who
no,
the
I haven't seen you in 10 episodes. Where'd you come from? And at the same time, and I'm going to quote Jed on this because Jed loves to bring this stuff up whenever we're reviewing certain types of movies on Drive-In. That is too much coincidence that they have escaped
Yeah.
to Akira's hometown, and Akira is the one person in the world he hates the most.
Mhm.
It's too much for me from a storytelling perspective, and the fact that we've had zero buildup. This is an antagonist, and then of course they do what I hate the most. I forgive you moment for all you've done. Even though I hate what you've done, I still forgive you. And when I become a zombie, let's go swimming together in the community pool.
I feel that really fits into Akira's.
It does,
Yeah.
but I hate it. I hate it.
I don't hate that bit. I like that about Akira because I could see him doing that.
No, I
'cause
don't hate it about Akira. I hate that trope. Bugs me.
I
Well,
think
but-
I hate that trope when it's done in certain situations. This time I think it felt right.
Every one of those malcontents got what they deserve, and I'm glad they got it. The fact that the first dude who just hated his wife because he was a miserable shit gets destroyed because Kenshiro decides to take a dive into the shit box, which again you see coming a mile away. You see that?
Yeah,
They spend 4 minutes talking about
Uh-huh.
dumping into the shit pool, and I'm thinking he's going in that shit pool. He is going to end up in that shit pool, and it's going to happen.
It's a lot of foreshadowing.
Exactly. And how
I'm trying to remember, like the guy who was just mad at his wife.
mhm.
Like
He was just mad at his wife. He was
I know,
pathetic.
like that.
Yeah.
I felt like he didn't fit in with the rest of the group.
He really did it because the other
No.
two were freaking freaks. One of them
Bro.
was a victim complex to the max,
Yeah.
Yeah.
blaming everything else on everybody else, and how he kind of just wants to assault a bitch girl.
I mean,
He just
they
wants to
went
assault
really
her.
light. They went really light, saying, "I just want to shove my tongue down your throat, dude. You're this kind of son of a bitch. That's not what you're going to do to her if you get your hands on her."
I could have sworn I heard him say something about shoving a dick down someone's mouth.
No,
at
he said
one
he
point.
said tongue
wanted
down her
his
throat.
tongue, but he
I
was
thought
very
I thought
heavily
he
implying-
made that reference twice, once with the tongue and once with his dick.
He might have, but he was heavily implying that he wanted to do a whole
Yeah,
lot.
they
more.
went really light on that. That was the only one that I really loved, where the old people come to save Shuzuku. That was good. I like that. And the old dude with the expert hunter, that was good. I like that. But I feel a little cheated when Beatrix has to fight the chick with the chainsaw.
I don't even remember how she beat her.
Oh, she beats her by basically doing a Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest on the wheel.
Oh, that's right. Wait, how did she? You know what?
That's the thing is, I don't know how the wheel fell off. Apparently, the zombies were dismantling the wheel, and she.
What happened was she was losing ground on purpose, and then she started to climb the wheel, and then the zombies started to climb after her, and she used the relentlessness of the zombies to break off the wheel, and then the wheel just started rolling, and then she was stuck on top of the wheel, jiggling all the way. And I just feel as though the other chick, I mean, she gets what she deserves when she just surrounded and eaten, but it was just, getting a chainsaw versus katana fight, I didn't enjoy it.
So I like those kinds of fights. Like one of my favorite fights that goes on in like Soul Eater is the chainsaw guy versus Soul and Maka. I like that idea. Here's a more high-tech weapon.
Soul Eater is great till they diverge from the manga.
Yeah, but here's a more high-tech modern day weapon that, well, it's a tool but not really a weapon, but somebody's using it as a weapon versus a sword versus a scythe versus something.
Well, that's
like that.
fine. It's just usually though that maybe is a more fantastical situation. This is just a replica katana that she runs around with. It's not anything even remotely
I think it's
special.
I think the fight fits just because of who the two are.
It fits, but I just didn't enjoy it. I wanted something else.
I could agree that particular fight was very
and it's drawn down by the fact that I'm getting backstory for big tit angry office chick, and it's
I don't even understand why she was
She's
upset with
anal, and not in the good way. is she all she cares about is everybody doing what she thinks is right.
She's a super type A personality, and she never like everything has to be her way. Like she kind of dumb character because you don't really understand why she's angry.
To yell at somebody for not putting a glue stick back in the right spot, it's like, oh, shut up. Shut up.
I can understand.
Honey, you need to get laid.
I can understand why victim complex guy ended up becoming a counterpart to them. I understand why sharp tooth, no friends guy became a counterpart to Akira.
Yeah.
I don't understand why dude who's just mad at his wife and anal bitch decided, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start just doing basically the exact opposite and causing chaos.
When they come together, she says, I want to get revenge on everybody who said I was wrong in the office. Okay. And I hate my wife. That's all they ever mutter. And that would have been, you said it perfectly, Dermy. It would have been better served is at the end of every episode, they just gave us a little bit of what they're doing. And we get clues and tidbits and pieces and this and that. And we had something to latch on to. For me, them just being dropped in the final 48 minutes of this season, it distracts.
I don't have a problem with them being at his family home, because they do that whole thing of a lot of people from the cities decided to come out here to try to escape, and then
still too coincidence.
I don't think it's
they use that exposition to set up the coincidence.
Yeah, they use it to set up the coincidence. I think the problem is they're dropped in there, so you all of a sudden they're there. It's like, what the fuck? If you had like a little taste of Tooth Guy finding them all at the very end of the last episode, and you don't even have to do like talking. It's just here they are. Or here's some shadowy figures. You don't know what the fuck's going on. Then you start just slowly, here's the shadowy figures doing something else. Here's the shadowy figures doing something else. Maybe they say something here or there. Maybe you hear a laugh, but just little tidbits, and you see like the teeth, and then you finally see them there walking, and then you start getting their backstory.
They're just dropped in. I don't hate them in their existence. I hate the way they are introduced, and I hate the way they function because it's just too much in a very small window. And I'm going to assume this is manga accurate, because these days that's what they do. They don't break from the source material when they do these 12 episode seasons. They stick to the source material pretty closely.
And considering they're still doing manga, they're still writing chapters. I would love to go find the actual manga of this. Like there's last I checked, there might be like 53 chapters, and there's no way they did 53 chapters.
Oh, whoa. Right now. That means they covered most of that in this one season. Because that's not a lot. When you think about chapters, if it is it a monthly or is it a weekly release? Do you know?
Let me take a look. How many?
If it's a monthly release, that means they're probably 45 to 50 page, 60 page chapters. If it's a weekly, you'll be lucky to get 15, 18 pages.
Yeah, but also weekly, a lot of the times when it comes to weekly, they're doing like one chapter is one episode or part of this chapter.
I don't know. Depends on the series. Depends on the series. Sometimes my experience, an episode is usually at least 2, maybe 3 chapters. Usually at least 2.
There are, how many volumes are out right now? 10 volumes, 11 volumes, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's roughly 16 volumes out, it looks like. Pages 100. There's 160 in each volume, 100, and roughly 4 chapters per volume.
Yeah, I got 64 here. I see 64.
You said 4. You said okay.
There's 64.
It's a monthly. It's a monthly release.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
I'm seeing the release schedule here. December, January, February, March. Okay, so it's a monthly release, which means, let me check on chapter 64. It's a 31 page thing here.
And they do 4 chapters each volume.
Okay.
I'm looking it up now. They're only up to chapter 19 in the actual anime itself.
Have they even announced a second season for this?
No, not yet.
Not yet. So. I'm willing to bet it's going to come soon.
It's not this year. If they haven't announced it, it's not going to be this year.
It doesn't get does it get a second season if no one likes live action?
I heard you say live action earlier. Has that been well received? Do you know?
I haven't. I didn't even look at it. So all I know about the live action is you on the anime. Oh, I thought I had my camera on. On the anime, you've got the colorful, kind of like movie poster, and on the live action, it's all gray.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what the fuck?
And
like,
one of
what
the
kind of
biggest
representation is that?
one of the biggest problems Netflix had is they dropped both of them at the same time.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll go watch the first episode just to see.
I might check it out just to see it, but I don't know how you could do the live action with this. I don't know how you do anything with this. And when I'm looking at
question, we ask that question all the time. How can you do live action?
And also I'm looking at all the episodes via chapters. Yeah, they're about to start trying to think. They're basically on. They just the series goes to about chapter 22 or so. So that's
got
only
enough for
volume
a season
6.
too.
They have 6 more volumes. They have plenty they can do.
Yeah,
I would love to see what else you guys are gonna do. Are you really gonna solve, the whole issues with the zombie? Are you really gonna fix the zombie apocalypse?
Well, here's the thing.
I want to know how.
But here's the thing. Now, with the end of this season, and I don't plan on. I only watch this because Jeremy chose it this month. I do not plan on continuing watching this. I don't plan on reading the manga. This series is not really for me. I'm not a fan of zombie shit anyway, to begin with.
Neither am I. That's why this was such a weird pick for me. It's so weird that I've grabbed onto it.
Zombies been overplayed, but I was okay with this one.
But I have no interest. But as we reach the end of this discussion here, let's talk about the characters a little bit, because we've been talking about the story more than the characters here, so we can go a little bit on that. I don't want to end it quite so quickly, but I don't see. I will admit I have curiosity. What do you possibly do? Because the arc of going home was kind of a thing in the back of his mind the whole season. That's done. The other 3 don't really have arcs, because the final thing they say, it feels like we're just kind of going on a tour of Japan here. We're not really doing anything except taking pictures.
But really the arc is the bucket list, right? That's the arc. Yeah.
But they only
just so happens. So I mean, I don't know what else he's adding to his bucket list after paying his parents back.
They've still got 60 to go for 100. They've only got 40 on there. And of course, they haven't even crossed off the 38, 39, 40, all of them they have on there.
And that makes me go okay, so one of the big things, they're sightseeing, and that's mainly because of Beatrix and her being a big Japanophile and everything like that. They're doing a bunch of that stuff. Who knows what they're planning? Who knows what they're going on?
I just wonder if there's
you keep talking about is we're gonna solve the zombie apocalypse. We're gonna find a cure for all this. And it's are you guys really gonna do this? I want to know. Are you gonna do this? Is it gonna be this?
Let's be honest.
Do this.
Talk about the characters now. 2 of them are retards. Akira's a retard. He's a retard. He's a moron.
Yeah,
but he's a lucky moron. Beatrix, borderline, but she's not a complete idiot, but she's
a savant.
Autistic.
There you go.
She's a savant.
Yeah, savant. And listen, like I said, if I had my Zom 100, it all involves her. All 100 things. All 100. Suzuku, she has a story to tell, especially if she somehow runs into her dad or people associated with her dad's business. That is a story that might be somewhere. If the government maybe comes after them to get her, that could be something. And Kenshiro, he achieved. Somebody called him a comic. He's kind of already living his dream. There's no story for him anymore.
I think there is a story, at least for Kenshiro. There's more that they can do with Beatrix, because
there is.
One of my biggest problems with Beatrix is they introduce her. She's a savant, but I don't really know much more about her than that.
We have got zero backstory. We just know that she grew up. She found Japanese culture and it consumed her, and she wants.
And also, for all we know, they could be adding more characters. They might get more individuals that.
Do we
the core group?
Do we get Nazi zombies?
Please, no.
This is not Call of Duty.
this isn't Call of Duty.
But Beatrix has a really dark past.
That would be fun. That actually would be cool. I feel like they're set. Part of me thinks that they're definitely not going to solve the zombie apocalypse.
They're not going to solve that. There's no way.
Yeah,
to do
no,
that.
no. So
Oh
They're
no, the only
hinting
way
that
they
they
do
might
it is that they get involved with people who are doing it and somehow help them find something. But
That would be the only way
that's
that
it.
they actually
Yeah.
do it. But
Yeah.
part of me kind of the one of my the reasons I like this so much is it feels like you're not actually out there to solve the zombie apocalypse. You're just there to
Yeah.
live your every
Yeah,
single
this is
day,
not
and
a
you're following a random tag team of people just surviving versus
this is not
trying
even
to
a
trying to.
survival thing.
Well,
This
I'm not
it should
saying
be
survive,
zany.
but
It's that's why I kept saying this show would have been better served if it was zany adventures where we
I
don't
think
give a shit.
survival was the wrong word to say. Here's a ragtag bunch of people just having fun in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, and you have other people trying to fix it, other people trying to survive. You like actually solve the issues. At the end they show off. I don't remember one of their conversations if it was during like them planning everything out. They show people like in the middle of the city, like fighting off zombies and stuff, and you just have them planning a vacation of sorts. And I'm
We're
just like,
eating ice cream or some
I'm happy.
stupid shit like that.
Yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm fine with this.
But
We have all
they
these
don't
like serious
they
things. I'm like, I'm
don't lean
fine.
into it enough. That's my problem.
I think they leave into it plenty enough.
No, I think
I
they're
think they
trying
do
to
a very
ride the
well.
line. See,
I
I
think they
just
do a very well balancing both. That's how I view it.
I think I don't think the balance is good. That's my ultimate problem. I do not think the balance is good. It fluctuates too much, and my engagement wavers constantly. So, but
If
listen,
you want
it's
zany, I'll give you zany next time.
no. You keep your zany where you are in the
I'll give you
in your
zany.
tiny chair in your closet. I don't need your zany anywhere near me. Anyway, all right. So, closing thoughts. Static, you get to go first.
I'll watch season 2. I'll watch season 2. Do they have any idea how much longer the manga has to go?
That's actually a good question.
I'm not the person to ask, so yeah.
Yeah, I know no one's actually reading it here, but if it's something that's going to go on and forever, I know I'll lose interest. As a matter of fact, as soon as I hear that, I won't give a shit. But if it's something that they're like maybe close to wrapping up, I'll see it to the end.
At a monthly release schedule, clearly to me that says probably has an end game in mind. I don't know if the author, the mangaka, is a male or female. I don't know, but I'm sure they have. When it's monthly, they usually have an end game in mind. They know where they're going. Weekly, they usually do know where they're going, but they tend to change gears a lot. They tend to change things on the go sometimes. Just look at some of the longest running stuff. They keep going because they keep expanding the world and this and that.
The manga, I believe, is actually over.
Okay.
Oh, so they're just releasing it slowly?
So
Wait,
then
I think
chapter 64 is the end?
Yeah, I think chapter 64 is the end because I'm looking it up right here. It looks like wait, maybe I'm reading this wrong.
Hang on.
Will's on 100 bucket list of the dead manga end after Akira completes his list explained.
It says no, manga's still running.
Well, that's what I keep seeing is it's still running, but that's as of June.
Well, June isn't out yet, so I don't know. It says 2018
June,
to
that's
present.
June as of 2023 is what I'm getting right now.
I see October 2018 to present. So
okay.
Let me look at the chapters here. Hang on. Usually, why am I zoomed in here? God damn it. Manga. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, there's volume 16. Yeah, they still even put out volume 17. Gets one more chapter still. It's going on Toonami this month. It's getting
okay. They're probably going to continue. They're probably going to continue on then.
It's getting a Toonami premiere in 2 days. No, 3 days. 3 daes. Toonami premiere in 3 days.
Or it's just with what's happening here, or is it a new episode?
Yeah, it's just going to be
no. It's the 12th first season.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think. It's. I feel like it's too soon. If we're going to be season 2, it's going to happen next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I'll watch season 2 if it comes out. As long as the manga doesn't go on forever, I'm fine with it. I had fun. It was a simple shut your brain off
18,
show.
19, 20,
And it wasn't
21, it's been going for 6 years.
it wasn't dumb.
It wasn't dumb. Yeah, I agree. It's not dumb. I didn't hate it. That's why I didn't shit all over it. My problems are I think it could have been even better if it had gone.
I agree. I think that, especially with the color palette and everything, if they would have went a little more over the top, maybe they do that this next go around. Maybe they were playing it conservative for Netflix or something. Who knows?
No. I don't think they were doing it.
No,
that's not a factor in this. No, Netflix isn't a factor.
There might be
this was produced in Japan. Netflix just got the licensing.
Okay.
To air.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because it was I wasn't sure of how much Netflix had to go with it because they had the live action and the anime drop at the same time.
That's a licensing thing.
Only on Netflix.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like licensing to me. They just had the deal because this was produced in Japan, aired in Japan, and that's just Netflix trying to make. That's just Netflix doing what Netflix does, getting licensing and shit and trying to make.
And
money.
it was super freaking easy to watch. Like, you could tear right through this. So I also come from this as not an anime expert by any means. I think that this would be a pretty decent introduction to someone who's never seen it, who never watched anime before. It's
not hard.
Akira is the main character, but he doesn't do a complete overblown whiny cry thing like a lot of the main characters in anime tend to do. It's there, but it's not ramped up to 11. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so
like what's his bucket on fucking My Hero Academia?
Deku.
Deku. I just looked up like list of characters. Yeah, they have at least 4 more characters they're going to be adding to the thing. And if you want zany, I'm looking at one of the main characters that they're adding to the crew, and I don't want to look into his story at all. I want to know what the fuck this thing is, because I'm gonna read you his name, Lambda Chop.
Okay.
And I can't tell you what the fuck's happening here, except it looks like a man, an anthropomorphic ram, like a full-fledged ram head on like a man body, and his hands look like skeletons or robotic.
Sounds like a boss. Final boss.
I don't know. He's apparently a side character. That's as much as I read. So I'm curious, what else are they doing? What is happening now? The moment I just take a look at this character. So they're obviously planning other stuff. I looked at like some of the villains that are supposed to be coming up. There's one that looks really creepy. So I think they have some more plans for this that we just don't know about right now. And maybe this is the curse of season 1. Not a whole lot. Some of the season 1 curses, like they're mainly just building up the crew, building up the thing, you know, a prologue of sorts, you know, kind of like I would say season 1 or the first main part of East Blue Saga for One Piece is more so the prologue versus like the actual show itself, because it's building up the team.
Yeah, I agree. Well, all right. So, are those your final thoughts, or do you have more?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, Jeremy.
My final thoughts are: I want season 2 now because I love this so much.
I've said my piece. Only way I watch this is if Derby makes me watch it. So I
make you watch it.
Oh, go fuck yourself. I for my points, it didn't land with me because I feel it was very inconsistent in what it wanted to be. It wasn't a bad show. The characters are actually all fine characters. The animation is great. And when I say animation, I mean all the way around. The action, it's not just freeze frame, this and that. No, it's full body, crazy shit happening. It is an interesting take on a zombie apocalypse. I'm not down on that. I just personally wish it had decided to lean heavily more one way than just trying to ride the line. And I know that plenty of shows do ride the line. To me, it didn't do it successfully. I felt at certain points they injected comedy where it should have stayed serious, and and did comedy or injected seriousness where it should have stayed comedic. And I can't get over that. I still, like we earlier said, I agree to disagree about episodes 6 and 7. I feel as though it did a disservice to all the character growth Akira had up until that point. And but if you're enjoying it, that's fine. I knew when it was airing, it was not my thing. and this just reconfirms my general instincts. I know when I'm going to like something, and I'm pretty sure when something isn't for me. But not everything has to be for me. And it allows for, it was good. So, all right, this wasn't as much of a weeb fight as I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to yell a little bit more, but no, it was a restrained, orderly debate. I apologize to the chat. There wasn't
The arguments were presented very well.
Yeah. There was no octaves went up. Nobody yelled and screamed. And I apologize, chat. I promised a fight and I didn't deliver. All right, now it's time.
I can give you a fight. You
shut
fucking
shut up. Just shut up. Don't do anything. Just stop.
I don't know.
All right. So now it's Kumbaya time. Now it's Kumbaya time. Because it was.
Wait, don't we have
what?
What time is it?
It's.
I gotta go.
34. Oh, you gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Okay, Static.
Aren't you like 14 minutes late?
Yeah,
15. Yeah.
Well,
no, not late. No. I pushed it back.
We started
that's right.
so that Static could be here and talk the main part of the show. The rest of this, Derby and I just could be stupid weebs now. So Static, thanks for being here. Pimp your shit for the week.
Thank you for having me. Go find me on my channel, Static 2020. Right after this show, we will be live on my channel for the weekend pregame. We're going to talk about nothing that is ever discussed on this channel. We're going to talk about the Daily Wire saying Christ is King is anti-Semitic. We're going to have a conversation about that, which I think should be interesting because I have a lot of Christians on my panel. And then we've got Microsoft saying all sorts of dumb shit. Yeah. They don't want curvy women.
I have talked about.
Okay, fair enough. So we've gone into the game thing because the culture war is a fucking revolution, and that's my thing.
Viva la revolution.
Talking about all the dumb stuff at Microsoft and gay dinosaurs. So after you're done here,
I don't want to know.
After you're done here,
wait, is that the thing where they're saying Kong Godzilla need to F? Is that what that is?
No, this is science. This is real science.
I'm gonna be on after this. I have to record a video, but I want to know what the fuck.
Okay, then I will hold on to that. I won't run with that first.
Okay,
we'll go Daily Wire first.
All right, Static. Thanks for hanging out, man. We'll see you later.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me on. Have a good one, guys.
Links in the description below. Okay, now we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna be happy now. Well, it's sad happy because
we are going to celebrate the life of a man who touched several different franchises, impact anime as a whole. I would say he's one of the godfathers of anime altogether, and
one of the goats.
He's one of the goats.
I got quotes to prove it. But we're going to talk the untimely passing of Akira Toriyama. Now, earlier in the month, we talked about a little bit. We didn't know that he actually had a brain tumor. Mm-hmm. He did have a medical issue. This was not something random. He was ill. He just kept it very private. So we did know. So he had been in for surgery, and clearly this was something they just couldn't fix. And he had a brain clot. And that was that. So it was still untimely, though, because this is a man. He was only in his 60s. He still had a lot left to do, a lot of stories left to tell. Whether you like Dragon Ball Super or not, there was still a lot of story left to tell on that. And he still had involvement in many other things that are not going to be the same without him. And it was really a shock and sad when we all found out the first week of March that he had died several days prior. Jeremy, how did you feel when you heard this?
Honestly, I was very surprised. Part of me, so shocked, sad, and I didn't know that he wasn't writing manga anymore. So,
well, he was supervising Super. It was
he was supervising.
He wasn't drawing.
Supervising, but he wasn't drawing anymore.
Yeah.
So part of me also was like, I know when you're a manga artist, a lot of these guys do die a whole lot sooner than they honestly should. They live shorter lives just because of how much they actually work. A good example is not Oda. Fuck, I just had his name.
Berserk guy.
Yeah, and some there's a lot of mangaka out there that have a lot of serious issues because of how they draw. I always reference this one story of a mangaka that basically is going blind in one of his eyes because he squints too hard. It's kind of racist, but because of how he does that, he would dislocated a retina, and it's a whole thing. So I wasn't super.
But Toriyama, he hadn't been doing hardcore work,
and
he did was character design. That's the most he did on stuff.
After that, I was a little bit more shocked. Like, what the heck happened? What went down here? And it was a sad freaking time.
I'd been playing Rebirth for like 3 or 4 hours prior to that, and then I finished. I think I was either stream or recording. I'm not sure. And I stuck my head up, look around, see what's going on, and everybody's talking that Akira Toriyama died. I'm like, no, because to me, for the first shock is like, oh my god, he's still working on shit. He was still creating, and now all these things he's working on. What's going to happen? I mean, I would assume that since he was unwell, that he had taken precautions, and for the clear one for Dragon Ball Super, that there is a detailed plot line that those who are there will continue. That I'm sure his son, who owns everything he owned now, all of it has passed to his son, will continue the way in the path that Toriyama Sensei has set down for them. Because other than that, you get that feeling, okay, do we put an asterisk next to everything that goes from this part forward because he's not there? But I feel as though there's a chance that it can remain legitimate because he knew he was unwell, that he probably put everything down. Here's what I want you to do if I pass away. So I feel pretty good about that part.
I do too, especially when, like you pointed out, his son was more in charge with Super. He probably was guiding everything. His son probably knows like what he was planning, where he was going with a lot of the stuff. I'm willing to bet he's done well, but at the same time, he's like step back. He's probably leading a bunch of people. A bunch of people probably know like his actual plan was. This isn't the same as in Vinzinger helped me, Kentaro Miura, where Kentaro Miura, you really didn't know what the heck was going to happen next. You got lucky when it turned out that I believe it's his daughter and his best friend. Yeah, his best friend and his daughter knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, he told them everything. He told them every little thing needs to happen for the remainder of Berserk.
Yeah, and I think there's a little bit of a difference here where Kentaro had this whole entire team. Not Kentaro. Toriyama had an entire team. Kentaro
do better, Jeremy.
Really, my brain's going 1,000 miles a second. So, Kentaro had a tiny team. Toriyama had a big team.
Well, Toriyama, you said it. He is a grandfather of anime and manga. Without him, the industry is not what it is. This man is a foundation. He's a pillar. His legacy holding up everything.
Like I'm a guy who champions Kentaro Miura. I'm a guy who does view him kind of like the Tolkien of freaking anime. But even I have to point out, Toriyama has had a much bigger impact.
Oh, I can name one other franchise that has the level of impact that Dragon Ball does, and that's One Piece. I mean, One Piece is the only thing that comes close to Dragon Ball's impact. When you look at merch, when you look at games, when you look at the way it's made its way into all levels of pop culture at this point.
I would say the three Shonen Kings, even though Naruto's done, Naruto, One Piece, and Dragon Ball Z all had a major impact. I think Naruto had the smallest amount. It's between Dragon Ball, and One Piece as which one has the most impact.
Well, Naruto has this thing, and frankly, Naruto's legacy has been diminished by Boruto. It has been greatly diminished by that. You left out Bleach. Bleach is also it was one of the big three. The big three were Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach, because Dragon Ball had ended by then. It was done. It came before.
Oh, that's right.
Dragon Ball came before that. We're gonna read some quotes here in a bit from those mangaka who or those great men and women who followed after Toriyama Sensei. But out of the big three, working at the big Shonen 3, One Piece is the only one that comes even close, and it's still a bit of a distance because let's be honest, One Piece, as big as it is, it's first catching on here in the West now, 20 years later.
Yeah.
How many memes are there of Dragon Ball? Power 9,000. I mean, how long has that meme been going on before memes were a meme? Memes were memes.
It's
Power
over
level
9,000.
Oh, I mean, that.
It's always been a thing. Yelling and powering up is a freaking thing.
Dude, what I've always called Dragon Ball power ups and battle cries. That's what I always classify it as. And every once in a while, I need my dose of power ups and battle cries. I need it. I don't know about Jujutsu Kaisen. I feel like that's a little overrated. I watched season 1 and learning kind of where season 2 is going. I've lost all interest in Jujutsu Kaisen. I've lost all interest.
I need to get back into reading it. I would say there is a new big 3 on the horizon.
I've heard
but
a lot.
I don't know where if My Hero is about to end, because I would have put My Hero up in that.
I think My Hero is about to end. And there's a lot of controversy surrounding My Hero. People have a lot of controversial thoughts.
I would say Jujutsu Kaisen has the possibility to be in the big 3. It just depends.
Final battle right now. It's in its final battle, and I've heard that it's dragging because I guess it's not a spoiler because everybody knows it was coming. That Sukuna is just wiping the floor with everybody, and there's nobody left, and so nobody knows what's going to happen. So I feel it's really, as I said, I've lost all interest in Jujutsu Kaisen. I need
to get back into watching it and reading it. So it's been a little while. It's on my list.
I know it's a slight tangent, but I'll allow it. I don't know if anything's a big anything anymore. With the way anime is released now, and even I would say manga then anime, nothing gets released in a way where it fully takes over for long periods of time because of the short seasons.
I would slightly disagree because there are a few of them that do grab hold. I would say Jujutsu Kaisen, if it wasn't for the fact that it's about to end or it's ending,
pretty sure it's ending. They keep saying it's in the final battle right now.
If it wasn't for the fact that it's in the final battle, if it was continuing to go and continuing to build up, I would say that had a chance to be in the, like a new big one. Same with One Piece, not One Piece, but My Hero. My Hero really had a time to be.
It had a run.
Hold.
It had a
run,
it had
a serious run. But yeah, and it has waned. It's no longer as popular as it's still very popular, but it's not as in your face constantly style popular. One Punch Man, I don't think ever had a chance.
I've never gotten interested in One Punch Man.
A lot of people love One Punch Man. I don't think it ever had a chance.
We did Mob Psycho, I really don't like that style of animation that person does. So
I don't like that style of animation.
And I don't like the whole concept of One Punch Man either. I don't like the whole concept.
I also don't like that style of storytelling. Here's an overpowered character who can just
I like my overpowered dudes and dudettes, but not like that. This is not like that.
What I would say is I think we are kind of hungry for another big anime. It's just
I'm not.
Where is it? I think some people do want another really big anime.
Here's my problem when one of those things happens though. It creates so many goddamn tourists and people who pretend to be anime fans, and it's like, oh my god, this is so cool, and then they start yammering about shit, and it just bugs me.
And then Japan comes in and slaps them down.
Well, it's not what I'm talking about. It's just what I don't like is the fake fanfare. When I say what bugs me about the tourists, what bugs me is they're fake excited. It's the current moment thing that they think they need to get involved with to be hip, but then they're not going to watch any more anime after that. That's what I'm talking about.
It's kind of like the e-thought that Cloud posted in our chat the other day.
Listen,
says she was Bulma when she was Marin.
When I saw that at first glance without looking deep in the picture, I saw the blue hair. I was like, oh, it might be Bulma. But then again, Bulma's hair was not that. But also, Bulma's tits weren't that big in original Dragon Ball. Yeah. Her boobs got bigger by the end of DBZ and into Super. So, listen, you guys know I track that's how my mind works.
I know. And 3 names, 1 point. Yeah, I can agree with that. I love the Chainsaw Man manga. That anime, I watched the first 2 episodes of the anime. I was not a fan.
I think the problem is, you just said it, a lot of people became annoyed because the anime was worse than the manga, from what I heard. And it really derailed its ascension.
Yeah, it sped fast. The manga is dragging right now, super dragging. You get here's 12 chapters or here's 12 pages every couple weeks, and it's so
I hate it when they only do 12 pages. I hate that.
It is.
It's like, give me at least
It's getting
15.
really annoying. But one of the problems that it had when it came to like the anime, the anime was visually stunning, but they hinted like they're gonna be speeding right along, and they're already they showed off some characters a little too soon. They showed off
Mhm.
other in the intro when you're not supposed to see this character until well after like the bomber demon or everything
That's
like
what I'm
that, and they're
saying.
already
I feel like the crew usually an anime only gets something more hyped up. Ever since Chainsaw Man came out and everybody was hyped for it, it's the interest, the discussions have tanked. I don't feel the excitement that there was. I know there's excitement for Blue Kaiju 60, number 6. Is that what it is?
Kaiju number 8.
Kaiju number. Sorry, I know there's excitement for that. I'm gonna watch that. I don't know
Oh,
anything
I am
about it.
looking forward
I'm
to
gonna
that
watch
because
But I want to try and steer us back towards what we're supposed to be talking.
yeah,
Uh, we'll come back to this. It's a good conversation. We'll
yeah.
come back to it. But all of this doesn't happen without Akira Toriyama.
No,
None of it happens.
none of it does.
And to think that he's not going to be delivering his style on anything more, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I want to read some of these quotes from the greats of our time now. I mean, there he is. That's the picture people use. Niche Gamer collected a bunch of things. The first one, and this will lead us to other discussion here. The creator of Dragon Quest, Yuji Horii. You didn't realize it until later. Toriyama is as much Dragon Quest as Yuji Horii because of his character designs. I mean, once they got past Dragon Quest 1, 2, 3, and 4, when they got to 5, which is that's the one where you get married and go through the generations, I think. I didn't.
I have
play that.
no idea. I've never.
Well, it didn't get
Dragon
localized
Quest.
until it got until handheld era, and I didn't play it anymore. I know people who swear by it though. Starting with Dragon Quest 5, and then retroactively, he did do some redesigns for 4, which was the last one I had played up until I played 7. Akira Toriyama suddenly he designed everything. How the world looked, how the characters look, how the monsters look. And going forward, I'm going to miss that. Because visually, it's his world. Visually. So
and he has such a unique style of creating a character. It is very much, it feels, actually, what I would say is like the Akira Toriyama style is the stereotypical anime style.
Yeah, you're right. It's stereotypical, but it's unique because, listen, I know I'm going to. I'm a broken record that I like my fan service, but I have to bring this up. It just because Akira Toriyama knows how to draw the human body, and when he did Jade in Dragon Quest 11, dude, he broke the freaking mold in terms of making a fit, beautiful character. Let me just get a good one up here of her. I mean, this is peak Akira Toriyama right there, dude.
Yeah,
that's peak. That is him at his best, drawing a beautiful woman, yet a warrior woman. And then you look at all the other designs in that game. You look at you look at Goku, you look at Vegeta, you look at all the stuff. He knows how to draw human anatomy, and he's not afraid to do it. I mean, he is a course that you must take to understand how to draw anatomy. And Jade, she was best girl, and I am forever pissed off that the base game of Dragon Quest 11 didn't let you marry her, but then the definitive edition that you dropped on the Switch 2 years later let you marry her. No, you have to go with stupid hometown girl who had no story as opposed to Jade, who has a real backstory and a story connection to you, your main character. She is best girl. She is best girl. She was great. I loved Jade. But he was a master, and you must appreciate everything he did. And it's going to be hard to look at Dragon Quest without him there. And he says right here, Yuji Horii, I'm still in a state of disbelief at the very sudden news of Toriyama's passing. I have known Mr. Toriyama since I was a writer for Shonen Jump. And at the recommendation of my editor, Mr. Torishima, I decided to ask him to draw pictures for the game when we launched Dragon Quest. So he was working on it from the beginning. Oh, you know what it is? When they did Dragon Warrior, when they localized it, they used a different art style and they didn't use Toriyama. And I had no idea until a decade or so later, 2 decades later, I think, that Toriyama had always been there. I never knew. Fuck you, localization.
Well, fuck you, localization.
And then you know what I can say? I blame Nintendo for that because that's Nintendo's fault because they were the only ones making those games at that point. You can't counter me on that. You can't stop me when I say that.
Listen, I can tell you, early localization had issues all around. So that's localization. Period.
In the more than 37 years since then, he has designed the characters, designed the monsters, and draw so many fascinating characters that I can't even begin to count them. The history of Dragon Quest has been with Mr. Toriyama's character designs. Mr. Toriyama and the late Mr. Sugiyama were longtime friends of mine who had worked on Dragon Quest. I can't believe he is gone. I don't know what to say anymore. I am so sorry. And I'm feeling choked up here as a gamer. Now, this is where the gamer part of me comes into play. When Dragon Quest 12 drops, which has been teased for the past couple of years, I'm assuming that all those designs were done. That everything there, it's going to have Toriyama Sensei's fingerprints all over it. But when we get to 13, what's going to happen? I don't know.
I don't know.
Because the creator just said it was his world as much as mine. So it's rough, man.
What I'm gonna take it back to what I said earlier. I think one of the things, and you mentioned it as well. You kind of have to take his style of animation has become such an iconic thing, and I think a lot of people. I'm not gonna say they can mimic it perfectly, but I think a lot of people know how to at least do it.
But
there's a lot of people drawing for him.
Just a mimic. That's a style. He's the one that births the idea, the image. But he's the one that first creates it, and then they make the designs are now forever gone. We will never be graced once Dragon Quest 12 comes out. Maybe once some remaining characters that have yet to be seen in Dragon Ball Super come out, there will never be another new design by Akira Toriyama, and that breaks my heart.
I can agree with that. Like, things are going to be different. No. Everything's going to be different.
It'll be the same, but it won't be his genius, because he is an artistic genius. And now
I can agree with that.
Oda Sensei weighs in. Oda Sensei, it is too early. The hole that has been left is too big. Sadness washes over me when I think that I will never see him again. I have admired you so much since I was a child. I remember the day he called me by my name for the first time. That just shows you the current titans of the industry looked at him as their titan. Dude, on the way home from the day you used the word friend for us, I also remember the day we had a big party with Mr. Kishimoto. Kishimoto is the creator of Naruto. I also remember the last conversation we had, receiving the baton from the days when reading manga made you a fool. That's his fool. I was one of those who took the baton from the days when reading manga made you a fool and created an era when both adults and children could enjoy reading manga. He showed me his dream that manga could do such things. He showed us the dream that manga could go to the world. It was like watching a hero going forward. Not only manga artists, creators who are active in various industries. The excitement and the emotion of the time of Dragon Ball serialization must have taken root in their childhood. That existence is a big tree. For the manga artists of our generation who stood on the same stage, Toriyama's works became more and more important to us as we got closer to the same stage. It was scary, but I am just happy to see the aloof man himself again. We love him on a blood level. We respect and gratitude for the creative world he left behind, and we pray for his soulful rest in peace. I hope that heaven will be a pleasant world. Just you vision it. I mean, I'm feeling this right now, dude. I've read these already when they were released 3 weeks ago, but I'm feeling this because these are his contemporaries, but also his students. They are essentially his students, his disciples, and he passed on this great love for creating this kind of art style, but also that it should be shared with the world. And Oda, out of everybody, has, in my opinion, he's carried this dream forward the most. Because One Piece is now, it's one of the most beloved things out there. And here's the thing, though. Those who might not know it, Oda Sensei is taking a 3-week break in One Piece right now. And it's a little rough from the reader perspective for the sense that he's just revealing Dermy, I'm not like spoiling when I say this. We're about to get the answers of the Void Century. We are about to get the answers of what happened in the Void Century. And he's taking a 3-week break. Now he's taking it because he says, there's nothing wrong with me, but in the wake of Toriyama Sensei, I need to do a wellness check on myself. I need to make sure I'm all right. And he also said, and this is where I want to deviate a little bit now, slight conversation on this. He says, I need to figure out what One Piece exactly is. Some people are taking that as, oh, he's written himself into a corner. He doesn't know where he's going. Walk away, tourist. Walk away.
Yeah.
No.
I think
what he means by that, I think he means as a worldwide phenomenon. Because when he completed the live action season 1 and made it a success, he achieved one of his massive goals he'd been chasing for over a decade. He bridged One Piece to the normies. And what I think he means by that, and I want your opinion on this, I think he just means I need to take a step back. I need to see how much is left, because he says we're in the final arc. We're at the end. We're in the end game. Of course, the end game is going to take another. He was supposed to be done next year. He was supposed to be done next year. No, he's not even close.
No.
We got another 5 years at least.
Yeah.
But
especially
I want
with how he does stuff.
Yeah, and I want Oda, and now Oda Sensei doesn't like Toriyama Sensei, he doesn't do all the on-hand stuff anymore. He does the designs, he does the story, he has his own team. And you can tell sometimes which teams are involved, which strong team is involved on a week-to-week basis. But I think he's just assessing how much is left. Can he maybe cut a little bit here or there? Because I think with the fact with Toriyama Sensei's passing, he is now worried, am I going to complete my epic? Will I be alive to see the end of it? I think that is crossing my mind, which is why he's taking a 3-week wellness check. So how do you feel about that?
I'd agree with that. He's taking time to make sure that he can at least get it done, because let's be real honest here. Over the past couple of years, 4 years or so, 3 years,
losing them.
We keep losing them. I mean, again, we lost Kentaro Miura. We've now lost Akira Toriyama. We're losing
a couple others there. A guy who does Hunter x Hunter is he's been sick for ages. His wife is the author of Sailor Moon. So that's a lot of power in one couple right there. So you got to understand Oda Sensei is going, you know what, I'm going to take a minute.
When did the Yu-Gi-Oh guy pass away? Was that before?
That was 3 years ago, I think. That was
you lost the Yu-Gi-Oh guy. Now his thing was long since done.
Every iteration post that has nothing to do with him. His story, the original Yu-Gi-Oh story, that was done. It was over.
Yeah, and also the manga is completely different than the anime. Manga is actually really fucking good. But what you got to take into account is, like, you're watching these titans fall. You're one of these titans. And a lot of the younger generation people, they're not putting out these multi-year long epics.
It's a generational thing. The new generation of mangaka and light novel authors, they're focused on telling a story, and they're not looking to go beyond a certain point. Look at Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer, it's done. It's over. But according to you, it ends great, right?
Oh, it ends fantastic.
Yeah, see, I'm looking forward to it. It's here, season 4. It's here. It's here this summer. Season 4 is going to be this summer. So I'm ready for it. You tell me it's going to be boring. They already did a pre-release of the opening episodes in movie format, which I still think is stupid. I hate it when they do that. But you say it's boring. I'm still looking forward to the training arc. I love training arcs. Oh,
the training arc is going to be mainly just... It's going to be a lot, because a lot of people had problems with the Sword Village arc for very specific reasons. You're going to have the same problems here. This is a lot of character development, a lot of character motivations, learning about characters. You're not going to really be seeing a lot of demons in action.
Well, I'm fine with that.
I'm okay. This is more character and world building.
Well, we're 4 seasons in at this point. However many chapters that equals in the manga. If you're into Demon Slayer, then you're in. A slowdown like this is not going to bother you, I think. And I'm looking forward to the character interaction. I'm looking forward to learning about excuse me, a lot of other characters who we've seen on periphery but haven't gotten a lot of introduction to yet. So I want the world building.
And I believe it is this. I believe, yeah, it is. I believe during this whole arc, you get to understand where the sun breathing technique comes from.
See, I'm good
and
for that.
Its backstory.
Yeah, and I have some theories considering some teasers from season 3, some things going on. So I'm looking forward to it. I have worked very hard not to be spoiled with this. It's the same way I've worked very hard not to be spoiled with a lot of what's going on in My Hero Academia, because the anime is basically 3 arcs behind the manga. I know the trader arc. I know a couple other stupid things, but I don't know the details, and I work very hard not to know it. Every time I see something pop up on a shill's website, I immediately go by because I know those assholes are just going to spoil shit because they have no respect for fans that are just watching something. Now, I'm saying that sense that I will go and read a manga, but I only usually go read a manga when the anime has stopped for too long and I don't know if it's coming back, or when it's One Piece and I couldn't wait and I had to keep going. I could not wait year in, year, day in, month out. I couldn't wait for it to get there. So I'm fine. Always find that. Certain things I have stopped reading or won't read. Like I won't read, what's it called? Black Clover, because I started watching the anime. I want to enjoy it as the anime. I don't want to be
spoiled. And you don't want to be reading Black Clover right now. They moved it to quarterly.
So
I don't get it hurts because I keep checking and I have to wait until next month to get the next chapter when they're in the final battle and every freaking thing is like popping off, some really cool shit's going down, and I'm like, you motherfuckers.
And I will go to a manga when an anime either doesn't end correctly or it says we're not going anymore. Perfect example, Twin Star Exorcist. That just stopped being the manga about 2/3 of the way through, and the manga was great, but it's also one of those monthly release or sometimes bi-monthly, so that takes a long time to get to. So I do read the manga, but sometimes if I've started with the anime, I'll stick with it. And we're not talking an Attack on Titan situation where I'm going, oh my god, Jeremy, unless it's you or me or a couple of people, I tend to not publicly talk about what I'm doing with a show. I don't express it. When it comes up, when one of the chat or a super chat or you brings something up, we'll kind of a weeb talk, but I tend to pretty much keep things private. I don't run around talking how during the Attack on Titan, which honestly, that's my example of anime tourism. A lot of people became freaking tourists and fake excitement for something that you and I both agreed, which was a massive jump the shark.
I'm just gonna warn you right now, you're gonna hate tomorrow's Ballbusters thumbnail.
I know what it is. Devil already told me.
Oh, Devil already told you. He didn't tell me.
Devil already told me what he was gonna do. He told me on Monday. Devil tells you what he's doing for the thumbnails before you, because I asked him who we got coming on, and I was like, okay, that's what we're doing. All right. And I said I'm okay with that. Yeah, I know exactly what you're gonna be on the thumbnail. I know exactly.
I saw it.
You've seen it. Okay. Devil already told me, and I went.
What I'll say is the thumbnail's good. I'm not knocking. I'm not
Devil
knocking his style.
No, Jeremy's angry at the content of the thumbnail, especially because of what Devil did.
Everything about the content of the thumbnail, not just my part of the thumbnail, everything around the thumbnail.
See, Devil tells me these things. I know exactly what's going on. All right, yeah. So, but back to this. I think it's very smart of Oda Sensei. It sucks, like you said, what you're getting, an example of all these ones that are in their high points get the breaks. It sucks. We're about to get an answer. A 2-decade-plus mystery is about to be solved in One Piece. And he goes on a 3-week break. It's like, no. But it's okay. I accept it.
It's getting to a point, like, I love, even in some of our newer generations, because there was a brand new one that came out few months ago. I started reading, and I'll take breaks because of how they're putting out the manga is fucking annoying, because it's weekly, but it's more bi-weekly, and it's a nice little shonen. It's a dark shonen jump, very gory, very
that's
brutal.
Your thing. Yeah, you like misery porn.
Oh, I love misery porn. And my biggest issue with it is they're in the middle of like this really high point, building the world out more further and everything. And how they do their shit is Here's the chapter. Okay, here's a point 1, which is just 2 pages of some jokes. Here's a chapter, point 1 jokes. And it gets so fucking annoying.
And see, I generally respect manga source material, but I prefer to watch an anime because when I read a manga, I read it so quickly, I blow right through it. When I watch an anime, I savor it more. So that's one of the reasons I prefer to. So, and also I like movement. I like to see everything moving around. So
I still have to go back to watching Tower of God. That was a good one. That was a manhwa.
I don't know if I've gone.
That's a Korean.
Anyway. Oh, then
Korean
I probably looked at it.
It's actually really good.
Anyway, so I'm okay with Oda Sensei doing what he's doing because I believe it's all about making sure he sees his story end, and it doesn't end well. And when he passes away, so I think it's fine. Mm-hmm. He says he's perfectly healthy. He had some operations earlier this year, but those are fine. So Oda Sensei will be well.
I'll quickly address, like you brought it up, he's stepping away because he wants to figure out what's going on with One Piece itself. I do think you're right. It's become this global sensation where everybody's talking about it. Every single person's talking about it. So much so that you have politicos even fucking talking about it.
Tourists. God. And that's what that's why I say I hate it. The reason I hate the tourists the most is because it's fake enthusiasm. They're not really here to be a part of the fandom, a part of this stuff. They're here to, in some cases, grift off it, and then they're going to move on. And especially because some of these people who have in the past probably talked down about anime and manga.
Yeah. And when it comes to One Piece, I think one of the things is he wants to evaluate what is it right now with how big, how major it is, and at the same time, he's trying to make sure that it doesn't become tainted. It doesn't go a certain way that he doesn't want it to go.
Yeah, I would wager to say he would taking a look at what is One Piece. He's probably also making sure that Netflix doesn't screw him over on season 2 of live action, because you and I have discussed this ad nauseum last year. Season 2 is going to be very tricky. You have to get Chopper. You need to get a spot-on casting of Robin. You need to nail it. The chick who plays Nami is fine, but I think they could have done a little bit better. That you got to nail Robin. You need to address the upcoming how much is in that arc. They're going to go through Alabasta. They have to. You got to get Vivi right. Vivi's got to be right because Vivi's been absent, but she's on her way back. You have to, and if you're going all the way through Alabasta, you got to get Ace right.
You got to get Ace. You got to get Croc.
You got to get Crocodile right, and then you have to get all these devil fruit powers, because what you see in East Blue, that's tip of the iceberg. If you are a One Piece noob, devil fruit powers get nuttier and nuttier. Gear 5 Luffy. That's all I got to say. Gear 5 Luffy. I don't know.
Crying out loud, all you got to do is Croc. Croc is next fucking level. Arlong has nothing on Croc.
Oh, well, Crocodile's a warlord. He's a
Crocodile's a warlord.
Yeah.
Arlong was a thug.
And Crocodile is another Logia. And Luffy only got lucky against Enel. Or Eneru. I always say Eneru. He got lucky because he was the natural foil. Rubber versus lightning.
But Croc's the first.
Croc's
his first Logia.
No, Eneru was Logia. Eneru was a lightning man.
I know, but he's after Croc.
No, but you know what I'm saying? It's not his first
I know what
fight
you're saying.
against Logia. But it's the first time he has to figure out a way to fight a Logia without knowing hockey.
Yeah.
Because we've seen hockey, but we don't know what it is yet. And the Straw Hats are too inexperienced to know that hockey's even a thing. And you cannot fight a Logia seriously, a powerful one at that, without hockey. It's impossible. Luffy gets lucky. Literally bloody lucky. Literally bloody lucky when he goes up against Crocodile in Alabasta. There's a lot they have to get in there, and they can't. Here's the problem. Unlike what they did with season 1, where Oda allowed some moving of some pieces, you can't move things around when you reach it. You can't skip Laboon. You cannot skip Laboon and hope to do Brook. You cannot skip Little Garden because of the Giants. That's what the original 4Kids dub did. They skipped Little Garden and screwed everything up. That's one of the reasons the 4Kids dub went down in flames, because they cut out things they couldn't cut out. You can't skip Little Garden because of the Giants, especially now if you're reading the manga, you understand what I'm saying. Then you can't skip Chopper. You can't skip Chopper, and then you're in Alabasta. So there are 4 separate on Whiskey Peak. I'm combining Laboon and Whiskey Peak when I talk about Laboon. You could skim past Whiskey Peak real quick, but I wouldn't. I still you have to find a way. That's a lot to cover in 8 episodes. I'm hoping they extend the episode count, and then when Alabasta, you can't you can't skimp on it. Too much goes on there. Too much is set up. And the fights are insane. And now it's the first time where you get that the Straw Hats have all been separated and they're at different points. The first time in the whole thing where, okay, somebody's here, somebody's there, and they're all separated, and you get the so-and-so wins over so-and-so. That's the first time you get the little map. You still move around. It's really, really do that for the first time.
Holy crap, I completely forgot about this.
What?
They haven't even done
They're still in Logtown. They're still in Logtown.
They haven't even introduced Smoke.
Yeah, Smoker. That was one of my criticisms of last season. By spending too much time doing bullshit they didn't need to do, they still have to do Logtown. Yes, you could do Logtown in one episode. You could probably skip Usopp's story in Logtown where he gets his goggles, because that is a little retarded. But you can't. They haven't even done Logtown yet, which means you got to bring back Buggy. You got to bring back all that stuff. So they have a lot to do and very little space to do it. There is no room for error with season 2. And
the only way you can, to be honest, the only way you can do season 2, you got to do Logtown, and you're going to have to cut it up. You can't do all of that in one big thing.
Not the way they're doing it. You could do in Logtown. They can get it. They should focus on 2 things in Logtown. Zoro and Luffy.
Yeah.
Zoro getting a new sword because he still has that sword, or do he has it for a long time?
And especially when it comes to Zoro and Luffy, those are the 2 most important things in Logtown. Everything else is kind of side note. I like Usopp's little story, but
it's meaningless. He just gets his goggles. You don't need the story.
He gets his goggles. Yeah. It's not that important. All it is a nice little happy story.
He just needs the goggles. Just buy the goggles. Don't need it. But you need Zoro because it's Zoro and the sword, and also it's Zoro and Tashigi getting introduced to each other.
You need Zoro and Tashigi.
Can't skip that.
Luffy introduces
Luffy
Smoker.
goes. Well, Luffy also goes to the. Luffy has to go to the bar where Roger was and hear the story about Roger there. Luffy needs to get captured by Buggy. And then Luffy needs to encounter Smoker, and then Dragon needs to show up. So much, and then they have to go up. They have to go through the mountain, and then they have to do Laboon.
Well, I don't, because I quit watching after a while. Do they do? I think they've already done the mountain. That's the scary part.
No, they haven't done mountain. No,
they haven't done mountain.
Logtown comes before reverse mountain.
Well, the reason why I'm bringing that up is I remember Gary saying they go up a reverse waterfall.
No, he was watching the anime. He was watching the anime.
He was going, okay.
He had started
watching.
That's
when my brain was like, did they completely skip
No.
They haven't. What's going on?
They haven't. Reverse Mountain is after Logtown. The only thing they can possibly skip is they can speed past Whiskey Peak or do a version of Whiskey Peak. They minimum 10 episodes. I would say go for 12. And an hour long.
I don't think they can fit it all in. I do not think they can fit it all in. There's so much detail.
And then what do? You stop. You go up the chopper and then make season 3 Alabasta. Is that how you do it?
That's probably going to be how you have to do it.
You could stop at Drum Island. You could.
Drum Island. When was Drum Island? Because
that's Chopper. That's Chopper. It's after Little Garden. Because Vivi's joined the crew at this point.
Okay, so it's after Little Garden. That's going to be your best bet. Because you can't. You need to do 2 episodes in Lowtown.
Alabasta is an entire season.
Yeah, you need to do 2 episodes in Lowtown. You need to do 2 episodes for Reverse Mountain Laboon because that's also where you get Vivi for the first time.
Yeah.
You then need to do
Whiskey Peak.
So that's 6.
Then you need 2 episodes on Little Garden, and then 2 on Drum Island.
Yeah, that's 10.
I that's the only way they get through this. If they do it like that, they can nail it. And here's the problem. Going forward, they can't move things around like they did with the season 1. They can't move events around. All the events from this point forward, one must lead into the other in order to make One Piece work like One Piece should.
Like you're actually right, because it becomes very
sequential.
I was trying to think, can you move this one around? No, because you need to have that. Can you do
Pieces,
Drum Island first? No,
things
you can't
must
do that.
be set up. Everything must be set up, because then you go from Alabasta, then you go to Skypiea. I mean, you have to all the setup.
Alabasta to Skypiea.
Skypiea is a season all on its own too.
Yeah,
with the lead up. Wait, and you can't, because you can't skip Bellamy. You cannot skip Bellamy. You can't skip Luffy's encounter with Bellamy if you want Dressrosa to work down the road. And then you do Skypiea, and then you do Water 7, and then you do Enies Lobby, and then you've got Sabati, and then you've got Impelled, and you got Amazon Lily, Impelled Down. Everything lines up. They can't move things around, so they have to be very realistic. If they try to cram in everything from Logtown to Alabasta this season, they're fucked.
I mean, they've already kind of fucked themselves. We already know about Luffy's grandpa.
Yeah,
we already know about Garp.
Yeah,
you already got Garp. You already got a bunch of stuff there. You're already getting development for
and I
glasses.
Swear to God, if they make Crocodile a trans, I mean, people still hold that theory. Eva has teased that he did something with Crocodile, and we know that's kind of Eva's deal. There's always been that rumor that Eva did the body change on Crocodile, and Crocodile was originally a woman. But in the anime and the manga, you see him as a man when he's watching Roger get executed. He's in the crowd. That's one of the things I hated about season 1 is they showed all those key individuals in the crowd watching Roger get executed, and there was a chick there who had similar piercings in design to Crocodile, and everybody's saying, "Oh my God, it's going to be female Crocodile," and it's going to prove that Eva transed him.
Please no.
It's all right. We are way off.
We're way off topic.
We went down a One Piece rabbit hole. And guys, one day we are going to do a One Piece panel. We've already got people who said they're going to join us, where we're going to tackle it. And we're going to talk about it in sections. We'll go, let's talk about this, talk about that, because there are a lot of people. And the only reason we haven't done this is because some people who want to join it, they are still very far behind on certain things.
And I need to get caught back up.
Yeah, I
dropped off for a while.
I'm currently rewatching Zoe right now, which is a low point. Zoe is a low point, but then it's off the whole.
I think you're well past me still. I'm. Last I checked, I was still in gas. Not.
Are you still on?
Yeah, it would be gas.
Punk
yeah,
Hazard.
I was still on Punk Hazard.
Yeah, Dressrosa, I burned through it because that was where I had stopped watching the anime, and because I'd already read ahead of it on the manga, and I just wanted to see it. But the way they were doing the final fight between Luffy and Doflamingo, they just kept drawing it out too much.
You know what, man? In some of my downtime in Vegas, I might watch some. Get caught.
But yeah, it's what I watch. It's what I was watching the past couple of weeks in my late night downtime. Now I've got all of winter season of anime that I need to burn through. So that's what I'm watching now.
Real quick, I know we're trying to move past One Piece. How the fuck are they going to do Thriller Bark?
Oh, I forgot about Thriller Bark. See, I missed what I was saying. Yeah, Thriller Bark. Well, that's the problem. How do you do Moria? How do you do Moria?
Because Moria is
because if you're at a certain point, not counting the giants aside, we haven't gotten to a point where we have the drastically bigger humans than the characters. Mm-hmm. Moria is one of those guys. He's like 20 feet tall compared to Luffy.
Like, I can figure out how they're going to do the giants. They can do the giants. It might not look good, but they can do the giants relatively easily. How the fuck do you do more?
Well, giants, that's similar. Yeah, a lot. Thriller Bark's going to be a challenge because then you got Brook.
Mm-hmm. A literal, but in order to do Brook, you're going to have to be able to nail Chopper right. You
Yeah.
have to nail
And-
Chopper right. If you
Well,
fuck
Chopper
up
is
Chopper,
the test. Chopper's the test. If they fuck up Chopper, is that, and then you got to remember, Chopper is not a static thing. Chopper has a lot of different forms,
Mhm.
and
Chop-
if they make it to Ennis Lobby, Monster Chopper.
Monster Chopper. The scary thought is because we get all the tourists. Are we gonna get Baby Yoda Chopper?
You think they're gonna try? They can't do animatronic. They can't.
No,
do that.
what I mean is, do you think they're gonna try
Puppet.
to make? Do you think like Netflix is gonna try to make Chopper their Baby Yoda?
You mean just be a? How you can't do that? He's a doctor. He's 14 years old. He's not a child.
I know, but because he's such a cute, cuddly character.
Yeah, but he becomes a big hulking brute too.
Yeah, but they're not gonna care. They're gonna be like, "Oh, here's Chopper."
Listen, we
You're when it comes into that aspect,
Uh,
Japan looks at it very differently than corporate America does. Corporate America,
all we can
we
hope is
have this
this.
cute character. We need more of him.
All we can hope is this: is that Oda Sensei's contract is still intact for season 2, and he won't let them destroy it because the characters were all still intact in season 1. That's why season 1 worked, because the characters were intact, and Oda Sensei didn't let it. So we have gone way off course, and we'll veer back a little bit here in a second. For the remainder, I just want to show off who else spoke here. But there is what this relates exactly to what I'm talking about, though. Oda Sensei has a lot on his plate, and the scare of Toriyama dying puts things in perspective. He wants to make sure he lives his creation done. He has got this this live action thing. It's real. It's not going away.
And he already has one up on Toriyama. There's one up.
Oh yeah. Well, how involved was Toriyama in that?
I don't think Toriyama was super involved, but let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a live action Dragon Ball.
No,
nobody wants that.
No, we don't. Listen, I don't want live action anything. One Piece has been the exception to the rule, and that was because of Oda Sensei's involvement. It got through. So he has to make sure all these things are working, and I just I wanted to be healthy, and just do it. Just do it. I'll wait 3 weeks for Void Century reveal. I'll wait, and we're not even quite there. I think we got a little more fighting going on as we do the reveal. Anyway, all right. So Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto, spoke up. Says basically the same things as Oda, because Kishimoto and Oda Sensei, along with Tite Kubo, those are the authors of the big three. So they were their contemporaries, and they learned at his feet. I don't know who Wingman and Shadow creator Masakazu Katsura is. I don't know who she is. Final Fantasy creator Hirono Sakaguchi. I mean, Mr. Toriyama taught me what professional and work are. I respected him from the bottom of my heart. I pray for. So yes, I mean, these are the big themes. Original Goku voice actor. All the voice actors chimed in. It was touching the way everybody.
Do they show that Vic Mignogna made a statement?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was here.
Vic Mignogna, yeah, they didn't do it because he did a nice little video focusing in on, like, if it wasn't for Toriyama, I probably wouldn't be an anime. Like, I'm the voice actor of Broly for so many years. He was there for me when I needed him and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, this was a great man. And to go back to the video game stuff, Chrono Trigger, his artwork on Chrono Trigger, everything.
Well, video games for a moment.
Yeah.
How many fucking Dragon Ball video games are there, and how?
I know.
There was a post going around that Xenoverse, because people still play Xenoverse. Xenoverse 2, the day it was announced, you had everybody going to where
I saw that. They did. Everybody was doing. Every time was a prayer. They were doing the spirit bomb. Yeah. I saw that. I mean, when I played Xenoverse, I played solo. I didn't play on the network. So when I was playing it, I was by myself. But
And when you had the dumbasses coming out here trying to attack Toriyama,
And that's the thing.
they got
That
ratioed
the internet
hard.
united. It's one of those rare moments where the internet united against a bunch of fucking leftist trolls who tried to tear one of the Sweet Baby Inc. scumbags went
He
after
deleted
Toriyama,
his.
and he got
He deleted his.
destroyed. I mean, dude, I had somebody in my comments in one of the video mates said, "Who cares about this guy dying?" And I didn't comment.
Yeah,
I didn't
these
give that guy
people.
the time of game.
The moment anybody came out and said something ill about Toriyama, they got ravaged
Yeah.
because this was Toriyama was so impactful, so
Beloved.
important to the beloved. Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, all these have such a long-lasting connection. I believe Team 4-Star made a statement. They're long since done
He
with
was
Dragon Ball
based,
Abridged.
he was based as
but-
fuck too. Toriyama was based
Yeah.
as fuck.
But they outright he made their career.
Mhm.
He made Team 4-Star. He didn't like it, but he made them.
But it is just the impact he has had on all our lives. Dragon Ball is the introduction for so many to anime. It wasn't mine. You know, my anime experiences came before I saw Dragon Ball, but it made Dragon Ball mainstreamed anime.
I can remember coming home from because I watched it well out of order because it was
We all did because it was never on. And
for me,
nobody
it
even
was
saw regular Dragon Ball. You had
So-
now it's available, but back in the day, they never aired regular Dragon Ball. They just dropped Dragon Ball Z on there and go.
I remember because when I was around, Toonami was still airing like midday on Cartoon Network. I remember watching Dragon Ball on Toonami, but then
it was like 4 p.m. That's when it was on.
it was about 3:00 my time.
I know it was 4:00 because I would get home. It was during the Cell Saga when they had finally started relocalizing everything,
Mhm.
and I was recording it every day. I was that guy that had 3 8-hour VHSs of the Cell Saga because I went in every day. I recorded it. I would stop it at a commercial. I'd restart it so that when it was all done, I could just put it in and I could watch it whenever I wanted without breaks. I was that guy.
I remember watching Dragon Ball at my babysitter's, and then I never got to see the Cell Saga, but I believe they were doing the Boo Saga late when I was a kid, like a real young tyke. And I got to go to my grandparents' house, and I remember
but when you were a little kid, they were localizing Boo at that point because
I remember watching the Boo
They looked like
Saga.
Cell in the mid-90s.
Yeah, I love the Boo Saga. That's why a lot of people hate Boo Saga. It has that special place in my heart because that was the first one that I actually watched from like start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, I like it all. I like the whole damn thing. I like everything. I mean, she's not here. If she was here, it would probably cause her to want to get on the stream. I will piss off Gal when I say no. Gohan wasn't done dirty. Everybody's like, oh, Gal's favorite thing is always Gohan was done dirty.
A lot of people like to say Gohan was done dirty. Well, I would say it makes sense for what Gohan, like the person Gohan was.
Well, what they just did in Super, did in Super, they confirmed. I saw it today. Actually, they confirmed that his Beast mode is not a Super Saiyan mode. It's human. So Beast mode is the full potential of Gohan finally there.
So that very ugly looking mode is his full potential.
Apparently so.
It works because I could see Gohan.
It's on God of Destruction level, apparently.
Yeah, so that makes sense, especially for if you saw it in the movie. Which
I watched the clip.
It was good.
I watched the clip. I didn't want to go. I wasn't interested that much in the movie, but I did see the fight against Perfect Cell.
I'll say this: the movie was good. Was not a fan of the animation.
I didn't like the animation either. I didn't like it that they went partial CGI. I liked Broly. Broly was good. That was good because I like the fact that the Super Broly eliminates the original Broly movies now. First one was okay, but I didn't like the way they kept going with the other Broly movies because
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
First one's good. Second one's
second
one's boring.
The problem with the first one is you really have to stretch the timeline problem of when it happens, when it possibly happens. And that's the problem with all old Dragon Ball movies is that
my
well,
understanding is like none of the Dragon Ball
that
movies
was
ever
what I was
happened
going to say. That all the old original Dragon Ball Z movies and Dragon Ball movies, they maintained that original concept of when you make an anime movie, it exists above the canon. It just kind of
I
happens on
believe
its own thing. And
maybe the only two that possibly are canon. The only two is the Dragon Ball movie because it takes place after Dragon Ball and it's about
well, I'm talking about the
Goku
Z movies,
and
really. I'm really talking about the Z
yeah,
movies.
the Z, and I think I need to look because
Tree of Might doesn't work. Tree of Might doesn't work because
Tree of Might, Garlic Jr.
Maybe
Garlic Jr. could
here's the
possibly
problem.
be canon, but that takes place before
Gohan is still there with a certain haircut, because of the styling. Then that's what I was talking about earlier. But when you can see somebody's body type or their styling or how they look, you can drop them into where they are in a saga, and it doesn't make sense. Garlic Jr., Tree of Might, and Garlic Jr. don't quite fit.
Tree of Might doesn't work at all. Tree of Might does not work.
Yeah,
the only reason
how could Goku be alive? How could Goku be alive?
The only reason Garlic Jr. can work is if you make it as like the prequel movie, because you really only have Piccolo.
But I don't remember. Does Piccolo see Gohan in that?
I don't think so.
It's been a while since I watched both of those.
I need to go back and watch it again. I don't think they actually see each other.
And isn't Garlic Jr. Was it Garlic Jr. or Tree of Might where Goku is Proto Super Saiyan? I forget which one that is.
Tree of Might.
Tree of Might.
No. Proto Super Saiyan Slug.
Well, that was no. I think it's Tree of Might because his hair stands up,
Slug.
but it doesn't change.
It's Slug.
I thought that was Tree of Might because he gets a taste of the Tree of Might power. Right?
It's
been a long time.
I believe it's Slug is when he goes Proto Super Saiyan.
Either way, his hair stands up in the Super Saiyan thing, but he doesn't change color.
Okay, the only one that can definitively work as canon is the Dragon Ball movie, and that's solely because it takes place after Dragon Ball, and it's all about Goku and Chi-Chi getting married. That's all it is.
And the problem, and what I'm saying is, is back to the Dragon Ball Z movies, that era of anime movie storytelling. If it was a long-running show, and Naruto is guilty of this, Bleach was guilty of this, One Piece is guilty of it, Pokemon is guilty of it. It's that era where we're putting out a movie and it doesn't fit in the timeline, and we're doing that knowing you understand it. The only one during that time that you could sort of do it is Inuyasha. You can sort of slot in the Inuyasha movies, especially the fourth one.
I would say the first Pokemon movie, in its story, you
slots
can
into
say that
stuff because Giovanni and Mewtwo, because of Giovanni and Mewtwo.
Giovanni, Mewtwo, and also the whole entire ending of it is they forgot that it actually ever happened. So it can slot in as being canon, but it's not canon.
But the thing is, all those movies were never really canon. And it, for me, who is a canon whore, I love my canon. I need things to line up properly. I never really fully ever enjoyed them knowing they mean nothing. That is why when Super started canonizing certain things like Broly, and then that means, okay, Broly now this is where Broly enters Dragon Ball now in this moment. And
when they made Broly canon, oh my God.
And it's a good version of Broly. I like this version of Broly in Super. It's better than Psycho Broly, who hated Goku because he cried in the crib next to him. I hated that. I always thought that was
dumb. Psycho Broly's design.
Yes.
Better than
well, here's the thing. This is why when they were doing the Tournament of Power in Super and the two Saiyan chicks from Universe 7.
Yeah.
When one of them went basically Broly Ultra Rage mode, I thought, oh shit, that's Broly mode. Why aren't they talking about Broly? Oh, because Broly's not canon yet, because the Broly movie hadn't come out. And then after the Turn of Power, then they did Broly. And was, oh, now that's why when Goku was fighting her and Vegeta was fighting her, they didn't talk about Broly because Broly wasn't canon yet. But now, yeah.
And if Broly was canon, you definitely know he would have been in the Tournament of Power.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But you don't get any of this without Akira Toriyama. None of this. Nobody is able to make anime movies like this Nobody's able to open the door. Without Dragon Ball Z, anime isn't mainstreamed in America. I think that's a
Heck.
very simple fact.
Resurrection F. I love it. I love it because I'm a Frieza fanboy.
Well, yeah,
I love
well, that's
Frieza.
canon. That's completely canon.
Yeah.
And it decanonized Frieza in Hell from the other movies where he and Cell come back during that one movie where Gohan beats them in a punch. It was a weird movie. Where Goku's in heaven when Goku's in heaven. So it all works out because Akira Toriyama mainstreamed anime and Dragon Ball Z mainstreamed it for American audiences. I don't think Pokemon gets mainstream without Dragon Ball Z. Maybe as a game, but not as an anime.
You might be right because Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, they really burst that door open, and a lot of people grabbed onto all these characters. It's really hard because that is a debate. I remember G&G even asking about it. Which one is technically a bigger property, Dragon Ball Z or Pokemon? And it is a big question. I would argue that is a hard question to answer.
Also, I would say to legitimately do a question, you also have to break down the numbers. How many Dragon Ball Z properties have they earned the amount of money? Because let's be honest, Pokemon has made a lot of money on those games. Dragon Ball Z games, there's a lot of them, but they're none of that. They don't have a history of massive success.
They quit. Well, I think the Tenkaichi games had decent success, but the Budokai games that they just quit doing them, and then every game after that kind of started falling off. Xenoverse is still, I guess,
Xenoverse is its own thing, though.
Xenoverse is like
it deals with multiverse. It deals with making your own character. It deals with It also incorporates the reliving the
live service MMO games where
it's fun. I mean, listen, it's fun. I jumped at the chance to make a Saiyan.
I jumped at the chance to make a Frieza.
Yeah, I made a Saiyan. And going Super Saiyan 2 going Super Saiyan 2, that made my freaking day. And that's when I was sick, or I was recovering from being sick. I played through Xenoverse 1 and I started Xenoverse 2, but then I was watching Super at the same time, and Super started filling that need that Xenoverse had been filling. So I was having more fun watching Super than playing Xenoverse. So I kind of stopped playing Xenoverse. And now I don't even have my save data anymore because it was on my PS4 hard drive that died. So I'd have to start all over again, and that kind of intimidates me.
They actually made it easier because I had to start over again on my Switch. But they have.
But I don't have my original data from the first game anymore, too.
So that is a problem. I didn't have my original data for the first game when I went over to Xenoverse 2. So
I had mine, and my hero came back. My hero from the first one, he had all his moves. I mean, I was such a fucking Goku simp. I had total instant transmission Kamehameha. I totally used that all the goddamn time.
I'm such a Frieza simp that my character knows almost every Frieza move.
I did a combination of Goku and Vegeta moves on mine, and a couple of Krillin and Piccolos were in there too.
I combined I have Frieza and Buu moves mixed together because all of Kid Buu moves were like pure chaos, pure destruction. And they always kept your opponents back. That's why I did it.
And me, I would just go. I do everything. I was geared to getting to Super Saiyan as quickly as possible. Like boom, level 1, go level 2. I never went level 3. Did I ever go level 3 that much? I don't know.
So
I don't remember.
In Xenoverse 2, you can go Golden Frieza. It is not that good. It gives you like
I did unlock Golden Frieza. I did unlock.
Yeah, it gives you a Death Beam for your Kai Blast instead, which is helpful, but it's not good. I prefer to do like Kaioken or stuff like that because it becomes just stronger.
Yeah, Kaioken was really good to have early on before you could go Super Saiyan.
Especially for a Frieza race who have massive amounts of stamina.
And what I would do, I had so much stamina because I could stay in Super Saiyan forever with the way I built my character. It was great. I quit out playing Xenoverse 2 right as they were introducing the DLC packs that had Super Saiyan Blue and all that stuff. So I just stopped playing because I would have got that. Because
I need to get back to playing because they started changing up the story a bit and they were actually introducing some cool aspects.
I don't know if I'll go back, but I have it. I mean, it was a digital download, so I can get it anytime I want. and I got it for a great deal too. I didn't spend a lot of money on it. It was like less than $10 for both of them. So I got a great deal on it. Although it is live service, you have to pay for all the good stuff later on, all the transformations. If you want to go Super Saiyan Blue, if you want to go Ultra Instinct, you want to go Ultra Ego, all that stuff. But someday maybe. Right now, I'm more happy next month to spend my money, or this week, either today or tomorrow or Saturday, on Final Fantasy 14. I'm much more happy to do that. If we're gonna all play shit, I'd rather do that.
Yeah,
we are gonna do. Well, I think we've come about a nice place in terms of talking Toriyama Sensei. His impact, his legacy, he will be missed, and I hope that they for the sake of Dragon Ball fans, those of us who are enjoying Super, I haven't been reading the manga. I was simply waiting until the rest of it was going to be animated, because if it's Dragon Ball, I don't want to see stills of people fighting. I want to see all the action. I want to see it.
And I can concede that point.
Yeah.
I don't. There's certain anime mangas that I can read, even if it's a fighting one. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck would you read Dragon Ball?
Yeah. So we stumbled upon another talking point. You know what? I'm going to save it for next month. A good talking point. Next month, I want to continue discussion we started an hour ago. Why perhaps there is no big three anymore? Why big anything? And maybe also the way the current generation of artists and authors and writers are doing this stuff, why they're going these more small bits and pieces. I want to talk about that next month, because we're 2.5 hours in. It's time to wrap it up, and you got to head over to Static. So that's that. All right. I want to thank everybody. So I can announce next month's show. Jeremy, I know you haven't seen this. We're going to watch, because season 3 starts in a week. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Season 1. I think you're going to like this one, Jeremy.
I've been told I'm probably going to like it. I've been wanting to watch it. I just haven't gotten around to it.
It has, I mean, season 1 is great, and we're only watching season 1, unfortunately. Season 2, it gets dark at times, and it gets serious, and some shit happens, and your heart's gonna be broken on point if you get that far. Because I feel, knowing you'll watch season 1, you'll binge season 2 right away. You'll do it
probably.
It's glorious. It's fun. The character designs are beautiful. Everything is fun. It's isekai, but it's isekai done right. It's isekai done right. It makes it fun. Rimuru is a lovable protagonist. Everything you do, you're not going to think, how am I going to root for this guy? He's a slime. How am I rooting for this guy? Oh, you'll be rooting for him fast. He is fun. His side characters, his crew are great. I'm going to be interested to know who you think best girl is. I know who my best girl is. I won't say it though. I don't want to influence you. I'll be curious about that. And then, as I said, season 3. It's been over a year since season 2 ended. They usually divide into 2 parts. These are 24, 25 episode seasons. So season 3 part 1 drops, I believe, this week or next week. I'm very excited, although it's going to be about 3-4 months till I get to it, because I want to watch it all at once. I do not want to wait. I might even wait for part 2. I might even do that. I don't know, but I love this one. This is one of the ones that are a new show, new franchise over the past several years that I have fallen in love with. It was recommended to me by one of my good friends who watches anime. He said, dude, you need to watch Reincarnated as Slime. I said, really? Really? Do I really want to? Doesn't look like my thing. He said, dude, you're going to love it. And he was right. So I didn't stumble this by myself. I was told to watch this by a good friend. And I think you're going to like it. We're going to have a lot of fun. We don't have a guest yet. We'll let you guys know when that is. We'll be back on, let me get the day just right here. April 25th. April 25th.
Yep.
Probably at our normal start time, unless otherwise 8:30. Other than that, all right, Jeremy, thanks for being here. You got anything you want to promote this week?
I got Ballbusters tomorrow with Brandon, the anime guy, coming on, and that's going to be fun. Probably not going to put out.
Which is why we have our thumbnail the way it is for Ballbusters.
Yeah. Then after that, I'm going to be playing more Helldivers over on Kick.
Yeah, you're spreading democracy for Super Earth.
That's right. I'm spreading democracy with my ship, the Lady of the People.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
You can name your ship. They have like preset things so you can kind of customize it yourself. Mine's called the Lady of the People.
lady of the.
You know damn
people.
well why I did it. You know damn well why I did it.
Anyway, yeah, so enjoy that. As for me, tomorrow's Friday. I'll be on Ballbusters tomorrow night. It's a little late now. It's too late to do a gaming stream, so I'll probably just dick around and do some extra shit on Rebirth. Tomorrow there'll probably be a gaming stream between FNT and Ballbusters. I'll squeeze one in there. Other than that, check out, I just dropped it before the show, a review of Netflix Avatar live action episode 3. Please go watch it. You guys made me do this, so you better go watch it. Other than that, Saturday night drive-in at 6 p.m. Eastern, Sunday roundtable 2 p.m. Eastern, where you saw Static will be joining us or try to join us. And then next week we go over everything, and I will be on Devil's Channel for Get Ranked this Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern at the Bielsa Hub. Other than that, thank you all for being here. We appreciate everything you guys do, support across both our channels, and we hope you had a good time. Hit that like button, subscribe, and we will see you guys this time. Until then, take it easy, everybody.